Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to Rise Up After Dark. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, and all I can think about is listening back to the episode with Matthew from earlier this week, yesterday's morning show, where Alex says it's March. And yes. I thought, yeah, brother, I felt that. It is March.
In my defense, it's March.
It is March. I wasn't picking on you so much as I was relating. I do that every day. Every single day.
It's deeply upsetting.
It was a factual statement, but I also remember when Alex did it, it was like, it's March. And I was like, wow, what a wet thud of a way to start an episode.
Alas and alack. We're back, and we're grateful to all of you for joining us. This is your crypto Q&A live altcoin research weekly special where we DYOR BYOB, let our hair down, do a little altcoin research, and talk a little shit about the crypto industry, and where we say fuck. Not enough to be vulgar, I hope, but probably more than is PG-13 friendly. So listen with your kids if you're risky, or just, down with the revolution, I guess, and leave your crypto questions in the comments. The place the show lives 24/7, if you can't reach us live, is, of course, community.rumshq.com. The only thing missing is you at community.rumshq.com. Christina says, Alex is a wet thud.
Correct. Still one of my favorite audio cues we have.
I love it too.
It's a good one.
I knew it. I had heard it probably on SpongeBob and other places, and I just needed to find it. It was the only one that I thought would do. So I'm glad we have Gwump. Will, Alex?
No, I meant correct.
Oh,
correct.
I like them both. Ishwari Gupta, wherever you are, whenever you listen, man, we hope your candles are green. How are you guys feeling? Feeling pretty good today?
What time will the religious content begin, please?
Sometime BCE. I mean,
sometime
CE.
No, it'd be CE. It'd be CE. Oh, crazy. That still blew my mind. But no, I'm good. Just more busy days. Working, making content, trading, working out, scaring people on the elliptical next to me as I do sprints inside and cause the entire gym to shake. It's fun. I think of it as like...
You shake the whole gym?
I mean, yeah, the glass in front of me shakes because I'm sprinting on this. I have all 220 pounds of me is moving on that thing.
That's
I definitely cause
a lot of
people
force.
to like leave the gym a little early.
He was getting after it.
Whoever's next to me is definitely getting like side splashed with sweat.
I can just imagine.
I'm almost sorry.
Being that guy, like with his mouth open, like breathing, and then just like, I've been there.
And then I'm just next to you, just it's great.
I would like to see that clip, but with like an exaggerated water drip, like a hose or something coming off your head.
Yeah. It'd be good.
Evan.
We can make it happen.
Alex.
I'm trying to figure out in what combination of sounds I can hit these buttons on my board to try to manufacture a happy birthday.
How about we say...
Manufacture a happy birthday.
Ladies and gentlemen, you give it up for Letters in Bloom getting extra points on their birthday. Happy birthday, Letters in Bloom. Thanks for spending your day with us. We hope your candles are green. And that's 5 points for Letters in Bloom because that's the birthday special. I think that was well earned. If you've got points you want to give out in the comments, let us know, because every time you hear this sound on After Dark, it means somebody speaking or somebody we are speaking about has received a point. And if you hear this sound, it means that somebody speaking or somebody we are speaking about has lost a point. And at the end of the night, if somebody wins the most points, they're going to get some canned applause. They're going to get bragging rights and maybe some kind of fabulous prize, or at least until next week, a good feeling when they remember our show. So with that out of the way, fellas, there's lots to talk about. If you've got a question, let us know. But I have to start with this.
I was like, was that me?
Nope. I'm going for Alex for the mistime there. Thank you.
Come for him.
Thank you very much. Alex is just rediscovering his soundboard.
I want to say,
Yes.
I have to say on the topic of messed up soundboard things, my chair, right, is very close to my soundboard because my desk then has like a pullout, and the pullout slider is where my soundboard goes. And so my arm rest is at the exact same level. And I was on with Doug, and I kept like moving my chair, but every now and again, and my armrest would immediately hit the sound of
Come for him.
come. So like every now and again, randomly, Doug and I'd be talking, and just be like, come for him. We'd both be like, oh, wait, hang on. Getting a little excited. Yeah.
I'll have to listen to that one extra closely. It sounds like we need to clip it. Accidental soundboard. Okay, I needed to start tonight. We've got requests for TA on Bitcoin and a couple of other things, but I want to start tonight by reviewing the contest we began this morning. If you didn't see the episode with David Phelps today, then you missed confetti.win. Confetti is an opinion market. You can call it a persuasion market if you like, where you influence other people to settle matters of opinion, not necessarily objective things like will a country attack another country, but more like who is the coolest host on the Rise Up Morning Show. In fact, if you go to confetti.win for about 12 more hours, if you're listening live, you can go to the coolest host on the show contest. And I just want you guys to know that as of right now,
it's totally rigged.
It's rigged.
The winner, at least the leader, is your boy Evan with 1.5 thousand votes. Bringing up the rear together is Will and Alex with 154 and 143.
Actually, I am ahead of Alex by a single vote. Thank you very much.
Single.
By a single vote.
Dollars to donuts. So
which would honestly make me the happiest of any scenario here. Instead of winning, is just beating Alex by one single vote, which I'm pretty sure is like half of a penny's worth of voting.
yeah, it's about right. I happen to know that the person who funded mine, because it was just one person, was me. So as you vote, as the time goes on, the vote gets more expensive. 10 times more expensive. It starts at like 0.006 of a cent, 0.006 cents to vote. And at the end of the contest, it'll be worth 6 cents a vote. So it gets exponentially more expensive. And why would you spend money on a vote? Because if you pick the right vote, you get to split the pot of money. There's an 80% of the pot that will be split between all the people who picked that answer. There's also a prize for second place. So you can really only pick one loser. And right now, sorry to say it, it's looking like you, Alex. But there's a lot of uneven upside in betting on Alex Big to win. So you can check it out, confetti.win, or we posted the link in our community. What do you boys think about that?
I'm just kind of laughing because at the exact same time where we're talking about this like more fun, light, casual prediction market kind of thing, Family Feud style, it's just kind of fun and silly and a good time. I got a poly market update. I was just like, oh man, this is just so dark. Poly market just closed on whether or not the U.S. House would vote to pass or block the release of congressional sexual misconduct reports. And they voted in a vote of 357 to 65 to block the release of congressional sexual misconduct reports. So that's a few gwumps for the U.S. House and U.S. government. So thanks, guys. You're doing a great job protecting each other and your pedophilia and sexual misconducts.
Can you,
in the words of Andrew Cuomo, maybe they're all Italian. Do you remember that with Andrew? I'm not making fun of Italians here. Andrew Cuomo, who at the time was the literal mayor of New York City, was being like, he was in the Me Too movement of like sexually assaulting women.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm just kissing on and touching them because I'm Italian. And people were just like, what? What do you mean?
Mamma
your
mia.
actual answer? That's how you're defending yourself?
did that hold up in court?
Oh yeah, no, it held up in court.
Yeah,
He just
incredible.
went babidi boobidi, and then the judge happened to be Italian, and he was like gabagool, and then they let him out.
Yeah, that checks out. Can you imagine being in Congress and voting in favor of that?
Yeah, we've got 3 gwumps on the board for voting against hiding sexual harassment.
Well, you got to give them a few more because Chatters specifically requested
Oh,
5
that's
glums for
right.
it not being his birthday.
Yeah, so Chatter's -5. Let's give them at least -10 for that, because you can't be
You
beat.
can't let congressional sexual misconduct beat you
No,
just
no,
because
no,
it's
no.
not your birthday. That
Yes,
ain't right.
'cause it's not your birthday. That's not right.
That's not
Before we
right.
move on, Ponky gets 1 point because it's their hamsters.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but you know,
An
we'll give it
alleged
to
hamster's
Ponky's-
alleged
Pon-
birthday.
Ponky's hamster gets the point.
Yeah, Ponky's hamster.
Aha.
Okay.
Thought you could
Okay.
con us for points, did you?
I actually, yes, I did. Sorry, guys. If you're paying attention to the news today, I've got one more for you. This is a quick one that I need your feedback on. Did you see the announcement from Western Union about the stablecoin they are launching?
No.
Oh boy. Okay. Any guesses, Alex and Will? Which chain is Western Union launching a stablecoin on?
I wonder.
There's
let's
only-
see. They're going to need something secure, and they're going to need something with a lot of liquidity. So I'm guessing it's the Ripple ledger. It's Ethereum.
Sorry to say you
Ethereum.
would be wrong. It's not actually Ethereum. Alex, do you
Oh, it's
want to
not
guess
Ethereum.
what it is?
Had to be Solana. Then.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is a guess, although Western Union already has stuff on chain and it's on Solana, so that's the one that makes the most sense, unless they're spreading the love, but I doubt it.
Yes, continuing the trend of adoption on Solana. I'm going to give you both a point for that because, Will, you kind of redeemed yourself.
Oh, look
Caught
at
up
that.
to Alex. And this is the news from Solana Payments. Western Union's launching DPT, say that 5 times fast, a new stablecoin. Crossmint is the company that's powering wallets. Think of them as like a Privy competitor. They make it easy for anybody to interact with on-chain assets without needing to know how seed phrases, etc. work. APIs connected to Western Union's digital asset network. This is what you're referring to, Alex. They are building out this whole
Yep.
infrastructure in parallel to what they offer in the quote real world on Solana's network. Stablecoins will be redeemable through 360,000 cash locations in 200 plus countries. About this, I saw somebody say people will complain about Western Union's user experience, about how centralized it is, but they forget that their distribution, that people already use them and know how to use them, is, compared to pretty much everybody in the crypto space, unparalleled. So it just goes to show you how important potentially that is. Do you guys have a thought or a remark on the news?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, I'm not like surprised or anything that people pick Ethereum or Solana for the most part to build on and deploy on, just from speed, scalability, liquidity, security, all that kind of stuff. You're going to choose Ethereum or Solana most likely. And I'm not surprised to see the explosion of stablecoins, especially stablecoins being created by these, large traditional financial institutions. So none of this surprises me. Again, it's just something where I go, oh, okay. Like XRP, where are you at? It's just like, hey, Ripple, what's
Any
going
minute
on here,
now.
guys? Any
Hey,
minute
let me
now.
tell you though, they looking at RWA.xyz, 300 million of real world assets, treasury bonds specifically, not just that one that we were looking at to try and like suss out. That's not insignificant. And their ETF was the fastest growing ETF crypto product in any ETF,
Yeah, well,
I think. So
Like
so far
Alex
this year,
said,
you know?
XRP is a great ETF crypto because when people buy XRP today, they don't use it for anything. So an ETF is great because you can't use the XRP for anything. And there are some tax advantages. So if you're going to buy XRP, don't buy the spot XRP crypto, go and do the ETF. Just like it makes more sense.
Alex, I saw you got a comment that you said you could circle back and address, but really quickly, can we actually go back to the top of the stream? Somebody asked if we'd ever heard of anybody getting locked out of a Kraken account. And Jay Heat reminded me of it when he said, hey, did Kraken get approved as a so-called crypto bank? And in fact, that's another piece of news. They did. Kraken becomes the first digital asset bank to receive a Federal Reserve master account. That's what they're calling crypto banks. Digital asset is the word people are using instead of blockchain or crypto when they're talking about anything TradFi. It's digital asset. I don't know how big this is because honestly, I'm not a banking expert.
So I made a video on this earlier. So basically what it does is it kind of makes Kraken better, faster, harder, like harder, better, faster, whatever the saying is.
Stronger.
So stronger. Thank you. I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah.
Stronger. Yeah, you get it. Thank you. And so it'll help them to settle fiat between themselves and banks. So like today, right now, because they didn't have access to what's called the Fed rails or the Fed wires, they've been settling fiat between themselves and banks through third parties. So now what'll be able to happen is Kraken will be able to connect to those banks directly. And so that'll be faster and it'll be cheaper. It also opens up the possibility for them to do crypto to fiat settlements in the future faster and cheaper as well. So this is a win for users of any type or size of Kraken. And also at the same time, it's a really nice feather in their cap because they still haven't done their IPO yet. And right now they're the only centralized exchange to have access to the Federal Reserve. So that is a really, really, really attractive thing for like institutional investors, but also just like institutional partners as well who would be looking to use maybe Kraken even over Coinbase for exactly what, but for things or investment or partnership and the like. They might feel more comfortable working with Kraken and all that other kind of stuff. So this is a really good win for Kraken, like across the board.
I'm going to give Kraken and all its users 2 points. Magic, friend of the show, says bullish. I agree. Locked out of accounts. It can sometimes happen on Kraken and other centralized exchanges. If you are new, it is more common, especially when they're trying to verify your identity, your bank. If you access it from different devices, from different internet connections, there are all kinds of reasons because they have the discretion to turn this kind of thing on and off. And mostly they're doing it well-intentioned, trying to protect users. If Kraken got hacked and there was somebody inside like going around and changing your stuff, they would know about it. They have a real vested interest in protecting that because if they don't secure their stuff, your stuff, they absolutely will lose every cent of their billions of dollars business. So I'm sorry if it's happened. The best thing to do is what's the Kraken subscription called, guys?
Plus.
Yeah.
Become a Plus member because it unlocks additional customer service support and it's a priority lane. It's $6 a month, or they have another version that's a little more. Yes or no? They eliminated the.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Thank you.
Okay.
And there's also this.
Yeah.
There's a VIP thing that you can like apply for, but you have to be like an ultra high net worth individual to use it.
I would start with whatever the basic plan is. You can always cancel it later, and it's worth $6 to get your problem solved for most people. If Kraken continues to create problems for you, doesn't work well, I recommend then you try Coinbase or Binance or OKX or BitGet or something else. Don't worry about writing that down now. You just need to remember to get in touch with support. If you're already in contact with them, it might be worth escalating by upgrading to their premium service. And then jump into the Rise Up community and let us know afterwards how it goes or if you have more questions. Again, community.rumshq.com. Alex, what was it you were... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Will.
No, I was just going to say, like, I signed up for Kraken Plus, but not their premium one. And I even earlier today, I was like doing some trades and I was like I've already blown past like the amount that my fees are being covered. And so now I'm just like, okay, I'm going to hear the fees again. And I was like, maybe there's something better. I got to look into it. So this is a great reminder.
And I really wanted to actually ask them specifically because my mom, leave it to my mother, to find out immediately because she also is a subscriber that fee coverage does not extend to using the Kraken Pro dashboard, meaning that you can't use it if you're using limit orders, and that's everything she does.
Yeah.
Wait. Can we make the distinction really quick between the subscription and then Pro or Classic?
So, okay. The subscription is just a subscription that applies to Classic. Kraken Pro, Coinbase Pro has the same thing. So, all right, bear with me now because all these things have names that are like really similar that sound like they could all be talking about the exact same thing, and they're not. The Pro in either Coinbase or Kraken is a more advanced trading interface that gives you more control and more visibility. So you can see the order book flying.
Advanced.
Yeah, thank you. And they effectively gives you, this to the chart looks more like a TradingView chart. Actually, it might even be pulled from TradingView or something equivalent. It's the candlestick chart, and You can add more of your chart indicators and your TA stuff, and you can see the order book, and you can see volume, and you can see all this other kind of stuff that you don't normally see, like on the profile page, where it gives you like a little line graph and some information, and then the ability to buy, sell, whatever. Interestingly and annoyingly, to the point where I would like to bring it up because I think this is an oversight or it's stupid. You cannot place a limit order on the non-pro or non-advanced interface. You have to be on that one for it. So if that's how you're operating, then your fees aren't covered, even if you are a subscriber to the service on either side. And that feels like a thing that one or the other could just like do and immediately have a leg up on the other one. So I'd kind of like an answer.
Yeah, we can ask them. There are a lot.
I just went in to see if there was one subscription for Kraken that was better than just Kraken Plus, and it's just Kraken Plus. It's just the $5 a month one, unless I'm missing something.
No, the only other one is the VIP thing.
I gotcha.
Yeah, they're trying to compete with Coinbase there, and I think that's pretty competitive. $5 versus $30, I'd pay it. And
Coinbase has a cheaper one now too, don't they?
Yeah, but it's less features, I think.
Yeah, but you get more coverage on Coinbase. Like you get fees covered on Base as well. You get fees covered on their advanced trading platform as well. So like Kraken's is cheaper, but you do get less coverage. Yeah,
waiting to see how Ink gets integrated into the whole equation, because I assume it will be similar. But of course, then the big trade-off being that Base has way more on it, and you can do a lot more there than Ink at this point, because Kraken still hasn't really turned the jets on for Ink, which is one of the many reasons that we are talking to them. Because my biggest question was like, why not? You're paying to put the Ink guys at the conferences, and when you go talk to them, it's like an intern. I don't know. It's like, what are we waiting for, guys?
Let's clarify. Ink is the layer 2 blockchain that is Kraken's answer to Base. And I feel like maybe that's diminishing it a little bit. I don't mean to be patronizing to Kraken. Base got there first. They got their own chain. It's the probably easiest way for an everyday person like me to understand it. A lot of questions coming along. And by way of transition, I'd like to answer one about tokens and transferring them. But Will, do you think you could respond to some of these requests for TA on Bitcoin? And at some point, can you tell us about the swords on your wall?
Sure.
Okay. Then to get your charts ready and stuff, let me answer this question that To Think Out has. Alex, this is a question for you, okay? My experience, they say, I have to trade 10 shares of XRP or other coins at a time. Is this true for all tokens? And I told them, no, it really depends on the wallet or exchange they're using. And so they said, well, that's very confusing. Can people lose money in this confusion? Can you talk about this problem and how people can avoid it?
Say the first half of the question again,
because I saw this. Is limits to what you can transfer. Oh, hey, you want to send XRP? You got to send at least 10 tokens.
Yeah.
Or you want to use this asset? Well, you can't withdraw it. And people never see those things until they're in them.
Okay. It's a bit of a nuanced answer. Annoyingly, it really depends. There's way too many different possibilities here when we're talking about like things that you can do that will lose you crypto. Here's an example. I was doing a Arculus setup with my mother, and we were moving some stuff over, and we were kind of doing some experiments with a couple dollars of like test transactions, because like she could get a deposit address for EVM. And so we used it to send ETH on mainnet and also USDC on Base to the same address, just to kind of see like what would happen and how it would port over and be displayed. And the USDC on Base never showed up on paper. On chain, we could see it. I could see that the transaction was successful. So sometimes, and I fixed this one, which I'll explain in a second, but like, if you were depositing something to a centralized exchange or another wallet or whatever, and you sent like something on the wrong chain to the wrong address kind of thing, sometimes it's gone forever, and sometimes it's just not able to be seen because the thing you sent it to doesn't have it like built into the front end to look at it, which is annoying. With the Arculus thing specifically, we just had to enable Base to be looked at, and then you could see it. But one time, sent, again, ETH on a different chain besides mainnet to a centralized exchange, and it didn't show up, and then it showed up like a year and a half later when they finally added visibility. So it was always sitting there. You just couldn't see it. But then, yeah, sometimes it is possible to lose tokens or coins in a transfer. I guess you could send it to the wrong address. You could, this is not so much a problem anymore, but it used to be more of a problem where you just like could literally type in a Solana address to an Ethereum send, and it would like try something and it wouldn't work and they would disappear. You could lose them that way. That's mostly been solved now. Most front ends won't let you post an incompatible wallet address in the send file. I don't know if any of this is helpful. I guess I don't fully understand the question.
Actually, Alex, they said yes, all caps, exactly what I want to hear.
Oh.
They were using an example about XRP, but wanted you to talk generally about how, why is it so confusing? I guess I'll take the pass off to just say it's designed. Yeah, I'll give you a point for that.
A very light but pleasantly surprised. Huzzah!
All right,
it was very polite.
He takes that on his to-do list and crosses it out with a quill pen. Huzzah!
The problem is twofold because people really aren't very literate in crypto, mostly because it's new, and not just new in the sense of new to us as a technology, but new to us in the sense that everybody is building it right now for the very first time. And all of these companies are building interfaces. Coinbase or Kraken or OKX, they give you accounts, yes, but then, I don't know, MetaMask or Ledger Wallet or whatever you're using to access your assets, they're all going to have different displays because they all rely on different teams to build that stuff. It's not like the rest of the internet, which has already been built up so much that people can just sort of borrow these bricks and the experience is standardized. As a result of that, you're kind of testing everything for the first time. So I really recommend all of this. The takeaway for you probably to think should be, maybe I'm moving too far too quickly because I'm using this technology to an extent that I don't understand it. That is becoming a liability for me. If I'm going to lose money, it's not an investment, it's a liability because I don't know how to use it. So that doesn't mean you can't participate in crypto, but it means, at least for now, you should think about how to meet your financial goals with technology that you know how to use and like a setup that you can rely on to trust yourself to use well. You're not going to rise to the level of your aspirations because you bought the right meme coin. You're going to fall to the level of your organizational systems. Did I have my seed phrase stored in my phone? Well, yeah, that's probably why it got stolen. Things like that, I recommend you work out in the context of a group of friends. I say it all the time, and I'll say it one more. Community.rumshq.com is the place we would love for you to be. I'd really like to see you there too, Think. Send us a message and let us know. Will, can I give you a screen share for some Bitcoin technical analysis?
You sure can.
Woo! Here it comes.
So, Bitcoin, and if I can get a share over on the old Tiki-Taki, that'd be wonderful. And one of you gents, thank you.
That's what
so we're looking at Bitcoin on the daily time frame here. And what we're going to direct our attention towards first, we're going to go through a few things. One, we had this coiling of price in this wedge here. And as we've been talking about, we had a bullish break above. We had a confirmed hold of support here. And that told us we were going to have a blast off. And here's our blast off, right? So the breakout target of this wedge is, you measure it at its thickest point, put it on top of the breakout zone, and you kind of get this general zone that's telling us about $80,000. However, I like to give myself also like a more conservative reading as well. I like to give myself a couple readings, and that's why I kind of have this range. So I have this range of lines here between $80,000 and $77,500 as the target for the breakout of this wedge. Now, if we look at things on the very short term here, don't be entirely shocked to see Bitcoin have like a little tiny itsy bitsy baby cool off. So if we do have a cool off, and I'm talking, real short term, like tonight, and maybe the beginning of tomorrow and such, like we had a really bullish day today here. It's not a surprise. So I had gone ahead and I went and found some general areas of potential support that Bitcoin could come down and catch. So if I zoom in on the 1 hour, like I wouldn't be shocked at all to see Bitcoin do something like, especially with the way this candle is forming, come down here and try to hold this as support, or, come down even further and try to hold that as support. And even if
Will, what are those numbers?
Yeah, I'm going to read that in just a second. So these areas of support there are three of them. There's one at $72,000, really $71,900. There's another one at $71,000, and there's another one at $70,000. So again, 71.9, 71, and 70 flat. Those are all areas of support that Bitcoin could come down to, find and hold on any one of these lines. If you get a bullish candle print on the 1 hour or the 4 hour time frame, then and it's holding one of those lines, then we can totally expect Bitcoin to go higher. And personally, I expect Bitcoin to go higher because again, we're looking for bullish momentum up to about 77K to 80K. Now, keeping that in mind, coming back to the daily time frame here, zooming out a tiny bit. I'm going to clean up this chart just a moment. So let's say we have a little bit of cool off. Maybe it happens, but you know, overall, oh, hang on a second. Where was the line? Where's the right line? There it is. But overall, you know, we're thinking things are, you know, going up here somewhere in this range. Okay. Now, if we come up into this range, into our sell pocket for the short-term move, Bitcoin has the opportunity to do something interesting where it comes up, comes back down, and it has the opportunity to hold the 55-day exponential moving average as support here, which is sitting right at what is essentially $75,000. If that holds, well, we could see Bitcoin go even higher. On a daily time frame, that's as high as $89,000, $90,000, but I don't know if we have that kind of a juice because let's go to some longer term time frames. Go to the longer term time frames here. Let me clean this chart up a little bit. Let me clean this up. There we go. We can see that we start to run into some pretty major resistance levels of the 12-week exponential moving average, which is right in our sell pocket. Another reason why that'd be a great place to take some initial profits, sitting at $78,600. And we also have the 21-week exponential moving average higher up at $85,000. Another reason why going up to 90K might be a little difficult. And we zoom out a little bit further, come to the monthly chart, and we can see that at $83,000 is the 21-month exponential moving average. Again, another reason why anything above 83K, I don't know if Bitcoin really has the legs for it. Maybe you can extend a little bit higher past that, but I wouldn't expect it, okay? So that is the TA on Bitcoin. So again, in quick summary, we broke this wedge. And the TA of this wedge says, hey, somewhere between 80K, 77K is a good spot to sell that initial move higher, particularly because there's a weekly exponential moving average right in the middle of this range. If Bitcoin comes down and holds 75.5 thousand, which is the 55 EMA, you do have a chance to go higher. However, I would be really surprised if we went higher than about $83,000 or so in that next move up, because we run into a lot of monthly resistance there, okay? Mm-hmm. And in the very, 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 very short term, you know, Bitcoin could fall as far as $70,000. As long as it holds that as support, things are still looking bullish in the short term. And that's what we're looking at.
Will, I was reading a comment or two, and so if you touched on this in detail, I don't think you did, is a question from Mike about Bitcoin dominance and whether or not we might see it lower to the point that there's an altcoin season even in this year, or how far ahead are you looking as you read that indicator?
So this is actually funny enough the first time I've actually looked at Bitcoin dominance in months. So if I look at Bitcoin dominance here, things look really good for Bitcoin and bad for altcoins. And that's pretty typical for a bear market. We've had Bitcoin dominance surge up here, meaning that Bitcoin has wildly outperformed altcoins. And in fact, it's claimed the 200-day exponential moving average. This says Bitcoin dominance wants to go higher, 1,000%. It wants to go higher. Let's go to the weekly time frame and see what we can see. We're above the 12, the 21, and the 55 weekly EMA as well. This says that Bitcoin dominance wants to go higher. This says that Bitcoin will wildly outperform the overwhelming majority of altcoins. If you're looking for an altcoin to trade, you got to find one that's in a real good setup and has some real juice behind it, because right now this is Bitcoin's market, baby. And that is the story of a bear market. Bitcoin pumps. People don't believe enough to dive into altcoins. Most people still don't even believe enough to dive into Bitcoin. And if they do dive in, they dive in late, they buy a top, and the whales and smart money won. Again, that's typically how it goes in a bear market.
Correct. I'm going to give you some points for that beautiful technical analysis.
Also,
excellent follow-up.
Bitcoin dominance is a chart you really shouldn't put much faith into anymore. At least the past 2 years, even though I was still looking at it, but then I was like, oh no, like no one should be paying attention to this because it didn't matter anymore. Because all the new money that was coming, I say all, I'm speaking with broad strokes here, but you know, the money that came in was through the ETF products. and the ETF products couldn't easily flow into altcoins. So if most of the new money was coming into Bitcoin and then couldn't go anywhere else, like how useful is the Bitcoin dominance chart to us really if the overwhelming majority of new money coming in was locked in the Bitcoin ETF and not going into the altcoins, right? Now that we have more altcoin ETF products, it adds more relevancy to Bitcoin dominance as well. But with the popularity of the ETF products making it so much harder to dive into other altcoins, using the Bitcoin dominance tool to try to understand how money is going to flow from Bitcoin to altcoins and altcoins to Bitcoin isn't really useful anymore. It's not nearly as useful as it was pre-ETF product launch.
That's an excellent point. More points on the board for you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what about the sword though? Oh, well, hang on.
I need the swords before you go, at least. You know, you don't have to. For people in podcast land, Will is stretching to the back of his room where he has got two beautiful swords on the wall. He has unracked them and now has brought one over.
I can tell everyone confidently.
Evan's narrating this like a nature documentary, like he's Attenborough over here watching Will in his natural habitat.
If you two drink enough in Japan Epcot, you too can walk away with an expensive samurai sword. And
I am a big fan of this.
yeah, it's very, very cool. Hitting all my lights over here. Yeah, it's very, very nice. Very nice.
Here's what I got to know is how did you ship that thing back? Is it difficult to ship a sword?
Well, luckily, when you're drunk in Epcot, they have shipping services that they will charge you for. And so,
Brilliant.
you know, yeah, they're just like, oh, all these people will be absolutely hammered walking through here. Let's sell them samurai swords. And I did ask, I was like, how many of these do you sell a day? And they're like, typically one. I was like, I'm your one, baby.
I love it.
Typically
Drunk
one.
Epcot shipping services. What will they think of next?
I don't know, but the mouse had me by the balls that day.
I see. While you're here, I do think it'd be great to get your take on, and maybe another analysis on Sol. Somebody asked about the bull flag forming on Sol. As to my eye, a lot of these assets, with a few exceptions, like you said, are mostly moving relatively closely with Bitcoin. I think, you know, Hype's an interesting outlier. Morpho's an interesting outlier, but
Can we just have to add too, there is one like very different now ingredient in this goulash that is the market we're looking at.
it's gabagool.
And that is that all of these things that we're observing about patterns and charts and tendencies and supports and resistances can all be true. Let's wave a magic wand and say that all this focus is true. You got to remember that now we have a cabal of people who are not ashamed or afraid to use their insider access and information to place leverage bets that they have the power to manipulate into coming true. And after a pump like this, when it wouldn't necessarily be that weird or take that much of a crazy cataclysmic event to turn the charts around and push everything back down again, where you could make a ton of money on a short that you so happened to be just insightful and wise enough to place, even though you also have the power to do the thing that would make the chart turn around. That happens a lot now, and we just started a war. So it's not that much of a stretch to think that something crazy could come as a development that would then turn everything around and invalidate all of these chart patterns that people are observing, and have someone, and then, you know, what happens right after the crash, then, you know, give it 24 hours and all of the on-chain analysts will be like, a brand new account that's never existed before opened a position on Hyperliquid and just made $700,000 in 25 minutes. Who could it have been? Don Jr., Barron, and here we go. So like that keeps happening. It's been happening a lot in the past 14 months. And it's going to continue to happen is my speculation.
I think that's a safe
Yeah, why would it
speculation.
stop?
Why would it stop? Why would they stop?
Yeah. But I can show you Solana. So Solana's not in a bull flag. It's
Can
just
you
a
hold the
channel.
sword the entire time?
Yeah, for people in podcast land, Will is still cradling that sword in the nook
I
of his
can't
shoulder.
walk away and put it on the wall when you've asked me to do
No,
TA
yeah, no,
also.
no.
Nope.
You
Nope,
can't
keep
walk
it.
away and put it on the
Keep
wall
it.
because you got it now. We're locked into this, dude.
Should I just slowly acquire more of the weapons that are around me?
Yeah, just like before you leave, you're like
just like put my dirk down here, have my axe coming out of the back, you know, go and grab. Actually, I have two axes.
Keep your dirks close and your axes closer, I guess.
Christina came back in, but this time is asking for points for Epcot for swindling Will into paying what I'm sure was an exorbitant shipping fee to mail that thing back to his house.
No problem. We can do that.
points for Epcot. Yeah. So anyway, first of all, let me zoom out here and just show that I have this Fibonacci retracement tool here placed over the entire history of Solana, at least from its actual very beginnings. Actually, let me see. How does this change? Actually, no, we'll do that from the very beginning. That's fine. So if we zoom in real quick, using our fib to find support. You use the Fibonacci retracement tool to find lines of support and resistance. We can see that we have this channel here. This isn't a bull flag or anything. This is just a channel, straight to the side channel, resistance, support right here. And it's also sitting basically where that line of support was on our Fibonacci retracement tool. Now, I'll keep it simple here. So what we're looking at is Solana is trying to break above this. Actually, let me change the color of this. A little bit brighter. It's trying to break above this and turn it into support. If it does, it actually has a breakout target of about $107. That's the breakout of this channel here. And then we're in a very similar situation as we walked over with Bitcoin, which is it now has the opportunity to then come down and find support where the 55-day exponential moving average is. And if it holds, it will most likely go up to about $124, which is the next level of resistance on our Fibonacci retracement tool. And if I use the imbalance indicator, which shows something called fair value gaps, we have a number of fair value gaps here as well that Solana's price will want to come up and fill at some point. And so all of that would line up with the reading that I have on Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Solana up to $124, $120, $125, and then start to run into some problems. However, I do think that it would get cut short because if you come to the weekly chart, let me get rid of these little doodles here to make it a little bit more clear. Un momento, por favor, por favor.
While you're doing this, I just want to read this idea from the comments that DeWoofy said, when Rum's coloring book written by Will swag drop. Can you imagine if we had a coloring book, like one of those like line drawings coloring books? I really, Tori, can we work on that, Tori?
I would love that. But the thing is the 200-week exponential moving average is sitting here at $117. The 200 simple moving average and the 12-week exponential moving average are all sitting at $107. So I'd really be looking at $107 as like a pretty strong area of resistance and support. And the breakout target of this channel gets us right into like the thickest point of that resistance. So $107, things get a little sketchy for Solana. If it's able to hold it, heading up to the 125 target I mentioned also gets even sketchier because of the 117 resistance of the 200-week EMA. So like there's a lot in the way that could stop us. And also when we come to the weekly chart as well, the 55 EMA also has resistance right there at 105, 107. So, we could see Solana go to 105, 107 or so and potentially run into a little bit of a roadblock. But maybe you want to keep a little bit of it just in case it's able to fight past that and, go up to that like 116, 120 range.
Oh, Will, I'm so sorry. For the last 20 seconds, you've been screen shareless on TikTok because I have once again totally misplaced the browser in attempting to navigate away. I'm eating my salad and filming you and navigating Windows at the same time. I promise I'm going to find it. Alex, take over for me. Help me out. Help me help
I don't
myself.
know. I don't know how to help you on this particular quest.
Will is just stacking weapons into his garment. So you share Will's screen. Oh my God! I just closed the phone on TikTok.
And then this one says Sir William.
I can't believe it.
Ooh!
Oh my gosh!
Wait, come on, focus.
You got to do the hand
there we
thing.
go.
There it is. Imagine titling yourself Sir.
It was.
What a wiener!
As I stab myself in the neck. It was a gift.
This is a gross misrepresentation.
Sure.
It was from my girlfriend.
Sure it was, buddy.
Where the hell is this thing? Oh my God! Well, guys, I absolutely can't see you. I've lost my ability to drive.
Evan, this makes no sense because you do not have that many things open.
Dude, I have no idea where it is. I need
can't
an
even
adult
begin
or a
to
millennial.
fathom. Will's going to keep weaponing. I can't even begin to fathom how to explain to you where to find your web browser.
I can see myself, but I'm small now. Oh no. This is just terrifying. Don't let me derail the show. I do have to.
Hey. This is incredible.
Will's just collecting weapons in the meantime. If you're in podcast land, you really got to get in here and watch this because I'm just so impressed.
Will casually brings out a tank. No, all the guns are in Maine.
Bearish.
I mean, I live in Boston. There's no need.
Okay, let's while Evan figures out
from
how to
myself.
use a computer. Will. Silver?
I was like, another weapon. Oh, sure. Let's take a look at silver, eh? Let's bring it up. I was very curious.
I'll do Evan's job
actually.
since he's still trying to remember where his web browser is located.
Interesting.
Bro.
I have nothing.
Silver, 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 silver. Let me see. Let's get this imbalance indicator off. All right, let's just see what we got here. Yeah, I don't like silver here. Like, it's not doing anything bad. It's just not doing anything great. Here's what I don't like about it. This big old gigantic dump that happened here on January 29th, where silver lost in 3 days 40% of its value. God, 40% of its value. What is this, a meme coin?
Yeah,
Jesus.
for real.
Wow.
But here's the thing. When you have a gigantic dump like this, if you're expecting like a bullish recovery, you need to see price, fight against that bearishness and then, turn bullish. You need to erase the bearishness. And over the past, 2 weeks or so that we've had here, maybe 3 weeks of trading, we haven't really recovered a whole lot of this. Now, granted, we have a higher low, we have a higher low, we have a higher low. So we have some good things here. But at the same time, we've barely made a higher high from the other, what's the high that was made on February 26th or so. And if I just, do some very, very light charting here, something kind of like this, and let me get rid of some of these drawings, just like very casually. Obviously, this isn't supremely accurate. I did these lines fast, but this is a bear flag. Like, this is Solana, not Solana. This is silver in a bear flag of sorts here. And, as the name dictates, this is a bearish pattern. So I'd be looking at silver to go lower here. And if I go to the longer term time frames, like the monthly chart, let me just get rid of these lines so they're nice and pretty. You can see we're super extended from our key exponential moving averages, and the relative strength index is still incredibly overbought. And our stochastic RSI is also tipping down here. Silver should be selling for weeks, in my personal opinion. And when you look at the monthly chart, this candle is just disgusting. Like, that wick down is so aggressive. Now, granted, it fought itself a little bit here, but when we looked at the daily time frame, we're in a bear flag. So
That's wild looking.
Silver should be correcting. Oh my God, dude, it doesn't look like it's real. It's fucking nuts. It's silver. And it looks like it's a broken chart or something. It's nuts. But yeah, this should absolutely break down to see silver at least 60.58. If I go to the monthly chart, yes, again, 61 is where the 12-month exponential moving average is, and the previous high is down at 50. Like, at some point, you're going to see $50 silver again. Like, you just are, most likely. At least $50 to $60. So that's silver for you.
Hi-ho, silver. I have found my way back to the display.
I'd say I'm proud of you, but this is like kind of the bare minimum of your job. Like, be able to open your web browser and then stay there.
And yet somehow I still find a way to throw it away. So, Will, I know that
Good job,
you had
buddy.
said maybe an hour. Are you still feeling like you got some gas in the tank? Or do you
Yeah, I got
He's
more
fine.
weapons to grab.
He's got more weapons to grab. He's got more gas in the tank. And
Okay.
I have plenty of points to give out. So, Alex, where do you want to take it?
Here's a weird one.
My favorite.
Yeah. Well, and the clarification was just as an investment. So we're going to compare two things.
Yeah.
You both know both of these things.
Okay.
Avalanche versus VeChain from the perspective of a token to invest in, and let the record show that the very first response was a deep sigh.
I got to pick one. Like, I can't refrain.
Yes.
I don't think I would buy either of them, and that doesn't mean they shouldn't, but I got to pick.
You gotta pick one. Will has a sword and a dirk and a small axe and a battle hammer.
What are we talking about?
Don't worry about it, buddy. You're doing great.
He's doing his job just fine. In fact,
Evan is choosing between. I'm doing my part.
This is my favorite weapon I have. This is my zombie defense weapon.
Will is playing a game that we like to call "How many more weapons can I brandish before TikTok nerfs the live again?"
No,
Although I still think
dentist's tool.
Because I'm sure there's a TikTok shop where you can buy like Ren Fair items and stuff. And also, this is made of rubber TikTok.
And also, why are we not like repping their stuff? I feel like you could sell that product, man. This is a commercial.
Dude, I would sell. I mean, hey, they have that chainmail ad that's going around like crazy. I could sell the crap out of that.
Yeah, actually, you could. I would be into that.
Weight to it. Like this thing.
Will's entire account is just going to pivot to TikTok shop videos for Renaissance Fair garb and accoutrement.
I mean, honestly, I probably should have started making content on that from the start. Not even going to crypto. I'd probably be making way more money.
I still would have asked you to join the show, regardless.
I still would have asked you to join the show.
Okay, you asked Avalanche or
VeChain. I think it's an easy choice, but
okay. What do you think?
Through your process.
You tell me what you think first. If you think it's easy, and then I'll have
what a
something to
cop-out.
respond to. Because I feel no. I feel like I would not choose to invest in either of them at this time for mostly negative reasons.
Yeah, I
So
want it to be
me-
clear that at this point, I'm not overly enthused about either, but one is far and away more investable than the other, and that's Avalanche. It's not even close. Like VeChain doesn't even deserve to be in the
will at least get some
conversation.
headlines, even though adoption of Avalanche doesn't really help to the price of the token. But like, you know.
But here's the thing. At this point, your best friend with either one of those two things is hoping that the speculation infection hits one of these things again. And it's way more likely that that happens for Avalanche than it does for VeChain, which has by all accounts been dead for years. And the sad thing is that there's not even really like a catalyst looming that could switch that for VeChain, because this is hilarious that this is the bad news for VeChain. VeChain was launched to do a thing. It did its thing. It has nothing else to do except the thing that it was launched to do, and it's never going to do anything different than that, and there's no reason for it to do anything different than that. It found product market fit in a very tiny niche little market. Maybe that could grow someday, but it hasn't had any movement in years, and it's by all accounts like not a failure. It's doing its job, and its job just isn't that interesting, and no one
has a
cares
limited
anymore.
market cap.
Yes.
Okay, so that's more or less my opinion. If I had to pick, I would pick Avalanche also.
Yeah,
and it's for all those reasons because it's a. Oh, go ahead.
To be clear, though, the reason you're saying that is because we're also worried about Avalanche at this point.
Yeah, that's right. Like it is in a competitive landscape with many other layer one networks that are much more widely adopted, that have more liquidity. Like I struggle to think of a metric where it's meaningfully winning or gaining mind share. You know what I mean? And I'm not the most plugged into it, but I think there are a lot of these networks where like they've solved the money problem, right? With their token, with their sale. They were one of a million projects to actually pop off and hit $1 billion plus market cap. And Avalanche, Polygon, Stellar. I mean, there are many blockchains taking really ambitious swings, but there are also some chains that are like, Multiverse X, where they raised a bunch of money once and people are still trying to talk about it and still trying to do stuff there, but it's not found product market fit.
I mean, see, here's the problem, because also as we're looking at these, we are all sitting in today's market talking about it as if it is like the bear or even the deep bear. But things like Avalanche are still valued over $4 billion.
Yeah, but that's
not even a prop. That's just a Fisker axe for splitting wood.
Oh my God. You got that from Home Depot.
Yeah, you bought that at Lowe's.
However, no, yes, baby, yes, thank you so much. I would also like to present my credentials. Be it known and beware that I am an official apprentice pirate from the Renaissance Fair. along with being a master of the games for knighthood of ninja star throwing, as well as battle axe throwing. And you can see the official stabs there from the knife of the king at the Ren Fair.
Yeah, it looks really official.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
I'm impressed by those credentials. I think he's an expert.
No, I'm gonna hold this for the rest of the show. I have to now. Yes.
Yeah,
He's
once
coming.
Will is in a bit, he's in a bit.
That sword as well on the wall. Oh God, he trips and falls.
I gumped him earlier, but now I got to give him the point back because the commitment
thank
to the
you, my
bid
love.
is.
No, we'll leave it in. I'm likely
Keep
to
it
stab
safe. Keep it
myself already.
sheathed. We can't handle that on
Thank you, my
live.
love.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
You know, let me.
Well, I have my dirk here, but the other knives are hidden somewhere, and I forget where they are.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Thank you, my love.
All right.
Here's my case to push back on you really quickly. Okay, so Avalanche is one of many companies that are basically meme coins. Like they've solved the money problem. They've got a lot of swings at the bat left for product market fit, but they're just going to maybe toil into oblivion. And I at least think, here's my case for VeChain. At least it has found product market fit with a very particular use case. People talk about utility. I don't think it's going to grow to reach the whole rest of the world, but my understanding is that like for one use, maybe it can find a justified floor for value it provides. I don't know how closely the token is tied to that value, but I think of it more maybe as a thing that will last instead of a balloon that's going to pop.
Yeah, but that's
What are we
no
looking
fun.
at?
We don't
What are
care
we
about
looking at
lasting.
here?
I don't care about lasting, Evan. I'm trying to make generational wealth here.
Yeah, but you're talking about an investment, and I would not feel as comfortable like buying Avalanche and forgetting about it for 20 years.
Okay, but see, here's the thing, because in the same conversation, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana still exist. So the point
so
is,
I can pick one of those?
No, you can only pick Avalanche.
But
or
I'm just
VeChain.
saying, like, now if you want to start, tiptoeing through the tulips here with all these nuances and talks about long-term vision and strategy and holds and stuff, I'm just going to remind you that, yes, Bitcoin exists. So what are we really doing here? Okay. Comment from Bob on YouTube.
That's your uncle, right?
Yeah. Avalanche at number 7 for total RWA real world asset value on chain at 586 million. I would like a source on that because that's not what I'm seeing on rwa.xyz.
Fact check yourself, brother.
That would put it above Aptos, below Stellar, and I'm not seeing that. They are here, C-Chain specifically at 189 million. And see, this is one of those things. Like I put this particular chart on screen because this is Ethereum.
End of conversation.
Please clip that. Will laugh because I want to use that all the time. So here's Ethereum at 5.598 billion with a B dollars. Here's BNB with less than half of that. And then here's Solana with less than half of that. And here's everything else. Oh, yikes.
Ooh,
That's just rude to put that on the graph.
Oh, wait,
Right next
that
to it.
reminds me.
Wait, I have to find it again. Look at it. Wait, there it is.
Oh, poor little guy. I've been seeing so many tweets of, hey, while you were paying attention to the war, I want you all to know that Barachain made $37 in revenue today. It's like it'll pick a random chain. It'll be like, they made $17 in revenue today. It's like, oh.
I really live for the Barachain slander because it's just funny to me.
Dude.
But here,
Send
like
it to
as we creep up, like, yeah, we are, to be fair, we are talking about millions and millions of dollars, but comparatively, if what we're comparing here is RWA, we're talking about a total share. Actually, this is just treasuries. Let's do the entire thing. Where's all of it?
Oh, dang.
So I apologize, Bob. You might have the number right there because I was looking at the treasuries. Let me find Avalanche on this bad boy. Oh, that's not showing me by chain. Evan, how do I do this? By
You're
chain.
asking me?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right there. RWA
Oh,
League.
got it.
I think.
Okay, that's only top 10. All. No.
Hang on
No.
a second.
Yes. Yes. Found it. There we go. Okay. So we are, yep, in number 7 with the exact number. Bob, I'm sorry I doubted you. That's a gwump for doubting Bob, and that's a ding for Bob. But I would direct your attention to the top of the chart. Once again, here's Ethereum. And that is $15.7 billion with 60% of the market share.
Now, Alex, really quick, toggle it again by RWA count, because did you notice our friends over at Canton Network were on the, do it again. When you first came to this chart, Canton Network is on top. I swear to you. Yeah, don't embarrass them. That's a $207 million real world asset, man.
Algorand, what's going on, buddy? What are we doing? One thing. For the people in podcast land, Alex reversed the table to display them by lowest amount of real world assets first, and with one, we've got Algorand and ZK. Yeah, I swear Canton Network is on there somehow when you first try. I don't know. We'll find it again. Somebody will rerun. There we go. See, look at this. 7,118 and 313.3 billion. Yeah. Okay. What does this mean? Because
this is
good
value
Lord.
Of assets represented on chain versus distributed on chain. And that's a distinction I need to understand better, because that's a more significant, that's many times whatever the ETH is. And something I want to understand better. I know there's a lot of we talk often about how active is a piece of liquidity. Like, how active is your dollar sitting in the bank? Are they able to use it and invest it? Do you have the ability to use it and invest it? If you put a bajillion-dollar house on chain, what's it actually doing? Is it made more valuable by being there? Can people trade fractionalized shares of the deed? Can they buy stuff with it, speculate on it, take out a loan against it? In a lot of cases, the answer is no. What I need to ascertain with Canton Network is how much of that value is liquid, is movable, is fulfilling an important service for somebody who cares about it.
None of that matters, though, because putting my house on the blockchain lets me put out one tweet on it. And I get a handful of maybe likes and or follows.
You're a loser.
I love you, though. How many weapons do you have over there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
Not enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. See if we can get 2 more before the end of the
I have
stream.
6 on my person right now, but I don't know where my knives are.
Will, you forgot to take into account those 2 guns you're holding there, dude.
I just threw up
I
in my
will
mouth.
say my arms are starting to cramp a little bit because I did do a back and arm workout, and holding these weapons is actually starting to make my forearm cramp a little bit.
Well, this is your bit now.
This is my bit. I'm not going to let it go.
Okay, so Evan, in answer to your question,
Yes.
here is Perplexity's explanation.
Okay, great.
The 93.34% Canton figure implies most represented RWA value today is still on a permissioned institution-focused DLT, which would be Canton, not on open public L1s. That tracks. The next sentence is literally, that tracks with the fact that big banks and TradFi tokenization pilots often prefer permission networks for KYC, privacy, and regulatory comfort. Again, that tracks. The flip is that public chains host a much larger number of individual RWA tokens and experiments. And then exactly as you projected, this does not represent like active, liquid, usable. These are just like people who are representing a thing that exists somewhere, which actually, I swear, the book that Lindsay called out for, the Mystery of Capital, this is one of like the central kind of points, is that the stuff on a public permissionless blockchain is usable. The rest of it's kind of dead, or it's usable elsewhere. But it's not here on Canton to be used. It's there to be represented, as the name of the category implies. So that makes sense.
Yeah, so to answer this follow-up question, will Canton become a filler coin if XRP falls short? Neither of those tokens, I mean, Canton, it's not really meant for you to do that. It's not like it has a function for people who use the network, and the way it is designed, the way the XRP token is designed is honestly, you can speculate on it as like a meme coin. I don't think it has a lot of investable value for somebody like you or somebody like me. I would say the token you're looking for is probably Bitcoin. I think the other thing
The
I want
token
to
you're
say,
looking for is Ether.
Well, maybe you're right about that. I want to say I know
am
where you're
right about
going with
that.
this, and so okay, fine.
Okay.
So I wanted to just say too, like I don't have good verified receipts of this, but I do have a lot of anecdotes, and I bet these guys do too, about companies doing the same way that like a DeFi protocol will be like, hey, we're going to have a token someday. It's not live now, but we really need some other tokens. Like, do you have dollars? Can you give us some dollars? We're going to give you like, 10% and then like another 30% in these tokens. They're not alive yet, but they will be someday, right? Okay. So thank you. We need your dollars. Sometimes people will be like, hey, we're launching this new RWA chain. I see you have a fund that buys real estate investment trusts. Can I make a token for that and put it on chain? And maybe I can find a way to give you some money eventually. Cool. Great. Thank you. Great. First, real estate investment trust on chain is this amount of money and it's on Avalanche.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. And I'm not saying that Canton is illegitimate volume. Alex is going to explain it, but that's the frame you need to go into this with, is that kind of thing does happen a lot in startups and especially in crypto.
You just have to remember that there are legal frameworks for participation and involvement with all of these things, and they are all different. You can't just slap them onto a blockchain and call it a day. You need to go through like a very specific process in order to do that. But the thing that Evan is talking about is representation of the fact that this stuff exists, and someone for whatever reason decided that they would allow proof of that thing's existence to also be stored in this database. And that's why it's listed there under the represented category that far and away dwarfs all the other ones. So that makes perfect sense. I don't know why I didn't connect that dot when I saw the word represented, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, why do crypto companies and crypto people and personalities talk about that particular figure? It's because it lends itself to drive speculation, and that's the only thing that's going to move the price of the token.
Beautifully said.
Am I the only
Yes.
thing on the big screen now? Lovely. Perfect. Hello.
Oh, I didn't mean for you to only be you. That's
Hello.
really
Yes,
interesting.
Look at all my weapons.
I was trying to take a little screenshot of that for later, just to like save it. I might put it on a token or something like that. But for now, it's a moment. There you go. You got your close up.
Hell yeah. Thanks. Appreciate that.
It is almost that time, Will. Is there something that with your hands full of weapons you wanted to get into? Is there a comment, a question, or a narrative about shoguns you think would be worth exploring before you ride your samurai sword into the sunset?
I mean, I just saw a comment here, and then we're talking about coins that do nothing. Cardano. It was, hey, does Cardano act as a bridge between chains? I'm like, no,
Not really.
No.
Also, the only thing Cardano acts as is a place to go stake Cardano, which, to be fair, is more things than you can do XRP with, unless you actually take your XRP over onto Solana.
There it is.
Yeah.
Which is even funnier.
But yeah, no, Cardano doesn't do that. I mean, you're looking for something called like a bridge that would bring assets from one chain to another. But the thing is you have a lot of chains now that are interoperable, in limited senses. But they're growing where you have something that'll connect to your Ethereum platform and your Avalanche and your Solana and stuff. So like, you have a bunch of chains now and solutions built on other chains that can connect with other chains, and that term is called interoperable. So your question, which was, does Cardano, like, is the purpose of Cardano, or is a functionality of Cardano that connects chains to other chains? No. That is not what Cardano does.
Yeah, can we dispel perhaps a piece of confusion? I see this phrase bridge currency a lot. It doesn't mean anything. So within the confines
that's a new term for me. I haven't seen people mentioning that one.
I see it a lot too.
Well, the usual way that it's mentioned and brought up is that XRP will be the bridge currency that fuels the entire planet. And then, yeah, I know, duh. But the term bridge currency doesn't really mean anything with regards to crypto specifically, because let's take the act of bridging, right? So what is a bridge? A bridge is a tool that you can use to move a token from one blockchain to another, except you're not actually moving the token from one blockchain to another. Most of them work by locking them on one side and minting a copy on another blockchain and unlocking that for you to use. And then when you want to go back, you would burn or relock the other one and unlock the ones that are used on the other side. So if a bridge exists, let's say D-Bridge, it's a very popular one. It works great. And Evan and Will and I are all trying to bridge different things to different things. And I've got some stuff on ETH and I'm moving it to Sol, and Evan's got some stuff on Optimism and he's trying to move it to Base or whatever. It doesn't matter. We're all doing that. And if I'm like bridging away from Ethereum, I'm paying Ether as the gas to do that. And then I'm unlocking it somewhere else, whatever I'm moving it to, Solana. And I'm claiming it there. If I want to bridge back, then I'm going to pay Sol and gas to move back from there to the other side. So the bridge currency in that sense is literally whatever you're bridging away from, because that's what you're paying the fee in. So I find that term to be really unhelpful because it's very misleading, and it implies that like a different currency is being put into this equation for no reason other than to like act as an intermediary. And the thing that I really wish more people understood is that volatile currencies will never be the holding currency while something is transferring from one place to another, because then the value of the amount being transferred could change up or down, and no one involved in the transaction wants that to happen.
Okay.
So again, I would not think of any cryptocurrency in the way of like calling it a bridge currency. First of all, it's not how bridging works, and second of all, it's just not helpful. And just for fun, this is Cardano's on-chain volume, liquidity, TVL, and revenue and everything. And so here's one of those things. Cardano made a whopping $400 today. All of the apps on it combined made $3,400. Their TVL has been largely flat for years.
Flatten
And
down.
actually, you'll find that that's one of the only blockchains that can say that. Notably, this is TVL in its native currency, ADA, not dollar equivalent. And if I come down here and look at live protocols that are doing things, there's almost none. And most of the ones that do exist that touch it, like they aren't doing anything. No one's using them. They're dead. You know, I mean, nothing. Like, basically nothing. These things are effectively out of business.
Yeah.
I don't even know, where is all this money? So let's see. 47.6 million of this total TVL is in stable coins. So
about 30%.
less than, yeah. Where's the rest of it?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It could be dead, lost, presumed to be lost. I think that counts as TVL.
No, it does, but it's still accounted for. We still know like what contract it's dead in. It's not even a category here. Hold on. Oh, this is revenue only. Here we go.
TVL. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so min swap, liquid, Sunday, you
good old Sunday swap, man.
Okay, so there's like a little bit. See, like here's the thing. As a DEX, having low TVL doesn't really concern me as much as the fact that volume wise, they're doing $116,000 a day. Ad revenue
0.1%.
Hey, they made
1%.
They made $238 today. That's good. Yeah. So it's just dead. There's just nothing happening there. Not to say that like it couldn't turn around, but the thing to then keep in mind at this point is that what needs to happen to turn it around, awareness, marketing, brand, chatter, all this kind of stuff. And the founder and CEO is currently shilling his next project. So Charles is doing midnight now. He doesn't give a shit about ADA anymore.
Let me say to extend your bridge analogy, here's one. If you are bridging currency, Cardano might be like a cross-chain currency in the sense that there have been bridges built for it. Like there are shipping lanes, there are roads that travel there from lots of different chains, mostly because it's been around a long time and it has in the past been relevant. People thought it would be more relevant than it is. So they built bridges there. The problem is if you bridge to Cardano, it's like when you bridge, you've got to have a vessel that gets over the bridge and then a vessel you can use on the other side. That's what Alex described, like parking your bike somewhere, locking it up to get a bike somewhere else. Imagine everybody riding their bikes to an island. And when you get to the other side, there's only like 3 bikes there. There's like 1 million bike slots and like 3 bikes there. How are you and the other people going to do stuff? You're not. And in fact, if you want to get back out the other side, it's going to be a lot more painful to try and transfer out. I had this experience recently, like bridging out of Plume Network. Yeah, there was a bridge from Plume to Sol, from Plume to ETH to Base, and yet there wasn't enough liquidity on pretty much any bridge. I was going to like rock the price. I was moving a couple $1,000 and I was going to move the price like 99% of whatever asset was on the other side of this pool, meaning there was only like one bike and I needed to bring a bunch of friends. So it may work as a bridge currency in the sense that I could be like, Alex, will you take this, this IOU coupon from me? But it's not valuable or useful.
I have
look at this dweeb still going. I mean, honestly, I can't believe you're still holding all that stuff.
Do you have a question
on Barachain's daily revenue? It's $77.
How much is it worth? Like, what's the market cap of that?
Let me type.
Yeah, right. Sorry about that.
Don't give me a second.
Oh, and there goes Will.
Give me a second.
Hey, while you do, let me buy you some time with this. Me and GPT took DeWoofy's suggestion to the next level. I went ahead and did a little generation. I know I haven't ported over entirely to Clyde yet. I'm a bad leftist. Check this out, though. Me and GPT made a little bit of a Will page in the coloring book. There's Cowboy Will from the B&B. And
so good.
There's Samurai Will with the dirk sticking out of his collar and everything. I think they really got you, man. I think you're looking pretty snazzy.
I just wish
there.
my axe was sideways, but it doesn't want to go that way. But
alas.
Yeah, so Barachain has $125 million market cap. It makes $77 a day.
125 million.
It's the perfect time to buy.
Dang. That's
123.47 to be exact.
Was that your last final blow to the? I was going to make a military weapon pun, but I totally lost it. Sorry, Charlie.
Okay, so this is a fun little math problem that I like to do, and I encourage you to do for your favorite crypto project too, especially when someone's trying to convince you that it's undervalued. Using a traditional valuation logic, a 77. Okay, this is even funnier because I typoed it and I wrote 77 million, not 177 million. So a 77 million market cap on a $75 to $80 a day revenue makes sense only if you're purely paying for future optionality, not current fundamentals. So venture, which tracks to be fair. But that is about $28,000 a year in revenue, which equates to roughly a 2,750x annual revenue valuation. And the standard would be like 3 to 7, depending on future potential if you were evaluating a company with a product. Even in excessive growth SaaS markets, maybe 10 to 30 times revenue valuation if you were talking about early stage pre-product. This would be like
investing in Cluely when they went viral over the internet or whatever.
Yeah, this would be like Sam Altman leaving OpenAI to found a new company. It would immediately have a very high valuation because of what OpenAI is worth. But still not 2,750x revenue. And like I said, that was accidentally leaving off $100 million from the valuation. So it's actually a lot worse.
Yeah, that's painful. Sorry about it.
Crypto is a silly place.
Yeah, it is.
Crypto is a silly place.
I know you got to pack up your weapons, and then you've got to think about riding your cats and cows into the sunrise. So do you want to tell us, have you got a final thought? A last question, a surprise weapon to pull out of your shoe?
6,300 times annual revenue into the valuation for Barachain.
Whew. That hurts me.
You're total grifters.
Let's see what Cardano is.
Okay. While he does.
While he does that. Yeah, no, it's just I think you can, if you want to play, the market right now in the crypto space, The other big shoe to drop is whatever the stock market's going to do. So let me actually show this, because this is the thing that could just like ruin or make everything. Hang on a second. I got to get to the S&P 500. Stabbing myself.
You sound like a guy hailing a taxi. I gotta get to the S&P 500.
I gotta get to the S&P 500.
And step on it. I will say the charts you pulled up today.
Get to the S&P 500.
Exactly. The charts you pulled up today have looked particularly worm and snake-like.
Okay.
Like this is a rising worm.
This, I mean, especially if you come out to here. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, he's a rising worm. You know what I'm saying?
Rising worm. Rising worm. That's the name of my OnlyFans. And had Bitcoin, wiggling around in here.
No,
but
don't say wiggle.
Not Bitcoin. We've had the S&P 500 kind of wiggling here and coiling up. But, we've been testing and breaking the 55 EMA, and we did have a candle close below the 55-day exponential moving average. So the interesting thing is, well, the S&P 500 is kind of doing this. If we want, Bitcoin to really get it past 77K or so here, we need to see the S&P 500 get above here. And even if it doesn't hold it, even if that ends up being a fake out, or ideally, goes higher, Bitcoin can do great. But, if this ends up being resistance and then the S&P 500 is riding this bottom line and Bitcoin's still going up, you should really be getting out of the crypto market, because this is looking like it would want to go down about 4% or so for the entire stock market down to some resistance. So we see the S&P. Oh gosh, I was like, we got weapons falling. Oh gosh, I was like, oh, there goes my hand. Luckily that one's sheathed. But whatever the S&P 500 does in this wedge is gonna potentially end the party or extend the party for Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's up near those resistance areas and it's looking like the stock market's about to, break this point right here, it's certainly time to be getting out and deleveraging, because if the S&P 500 goes, I can't say I'm particularly optimistic about what's going to happen in crypto.
I would also be a little scared.
Yeah, so still some reasons to be scared, everybody. Hooray.
But don't worry, Will will save us all.
But don't worry, because Cardano is currently valued and trading at a valuation approximately 13,900 times its annual revenue. So undervalued
that's
for
all.
sure.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, Will, strike a pose on your way out the door.
I can't. Not with all this. I can't.
I don't speak Spanish.
Well, yeah, but that's it, guys. That's all I have to say. So enjoy the rest of your evenings, and I'll see y'all in the morning.
He's your friend and mine, Mr. William Watson. We'll see you tomorrow on the show, brother. Be safe.
Bye.
Ooh, that's a lot of weapons. And if you've got a suggestion for what weapon should go on Will's desk or shelf, if you've got a question, you got a good joke or word of wisdom, a guessing game you want me and Alex to play about your favorite dead chains revenue, then put it on the back of a $20 bill or write it in the comments. If we miss your question, community.rumshq.com is the place to go. The 8-ball says, not the right time. Alex, what are you typing over there?
Now I'm having, okay, Solana next.
Okay, Solana next. Are we doing like revenue to market cap?
Mm-hmm. And Solana's fun because we can add one more thing to the category. We have daily chain revenue. We also have app revenue. It's too low to count for anything on any of the other chains that we've done so far. But let's throw that in.
I'm gonna say chain revenue first.
Yeah. So Solana has, and this is today. So this is, we're lower than we were at the heyday. That's true for Cardano as well. I'm going to go back and see if I can find a line chart for Cardano's daily chain revenue throughout the past 24 months and see where it's spiked. But right now, as it stands, Solana has a $51 billion market cap, and the chain revenue is about $860,000 per day.
Oh, I think that's lower than it usually is. But I guess I was going to say that the ratio is something like 20 or 25 to 1 was going to be my guess, but now I think it's higher. I think it's 40 to 1.
It's no, you can't do math. So,
What is it?
So protocol revenue 860.
You can't do math, man. What?
No, I can't, but I can read. And I can make you look like you can't do math while pretending that I can do math.
Okay, all right,
That's
okay.
Internet magic. Movie magic. I know because I'm excellent at math and Evan stinks at it.
Hold on, Alex. Before you totally prove me a fool, how is it you're looking up chain revenue? What website or tool are you using to do this for people who want to play along at home?
The llama.
The
DeFi llama.
Llama. Talking about DeFi, DEFI, llama, LLAMA.com. We've shown it on screen several times. We can show it in a second. And you can also make your friends look like fools when you make them play your guessing game. So how much actually is it?
After I do this one, I'll turn the phone camera around and I'll show you the click through to get to revenue.
I knew you would, man. I knew you would. Thank you.
So protocol revenue, this is not app revenue. So app revenue on Solana is about $3.5 million a day, which is how much revenue.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. Honestly. How much revenue are the applications that live on Solana making in a day?
Which is like how much money do the businesses in your city make? As opposed to how much taxes does the city collect at the end of the year? Fair?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sorry.
That's exactly it. Protocol revenue, $860K a day times 365 is $314 million a year. If you treat protocol revenue like sales attributable to Solana, that's approximately 162 times their revenue.
Yeah, that sounds right.
In market cap. So again, still
overvalued.
So high. But I would just once again like to remind us all that we are looking at things in the deep bear, saying things are currently undervalued. Right. And Cardano is still trading at 14,000 times annual revenue as a valuation.
Too much. Yeah.
That's obscene, my friends. Obscene. It's
obscene.
It's laughable. Let me look at. Okay, so here I'll show you how to look at this.
Okay.
Okay. There we are. Hello. Okay.
Hello. Oh, look at you, fancy man.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
This is DeFi Llama.
Driving his own screen share. I love it.
So we are at the homepage. If you look at it, you'll see a total overall dashboard. There's lots of ways you can customize it. This website is incredible. We are not sponsored by them, and I wouldn't be because they don't charge anything for this. You can look at it free, and if you really like it and you appreciate what they do, you can donate to them, and everything helps. So shout out to DeFi Llama for still being free and not paywalling all of this because I use it every single day. Although, to be fair, I would pay for it if they asked me to. Don't tell them I said that.
I think the to be fair counter is up to at least 4.
Okay. Here we go. So if what you wanted to do was pick one of your favorites, so up here, focus, there is a line from highest to lowest until we fall off and you have to click others of blockchain ecosystems sorted by total value locked, or TVL, a measure of how much money exists in that ecosystem. So to get revenue, let's go to Ethereum. Here is Ethereum's page. Little info block right here, and it will just show you. So stablecoin market cap, chain fees, chain revenue. That's what we're looking for there. Chain revenue in 24 hours, $90,216. Let the record show that Solana makes almost 10 times more money in a day as a protocol than Ethereum, despite having a total value locked of 6.79 billion compared to Ethereum's 55.8 billion. Ooh, market cap, Solana 51 billion, Ethereum 257 billion, despite making less revenue. App revenue on Ethereum $2.48 million in a day. Not nothing. Not as much as Solana.
Yeah.
You can go down the line. Here's the Binance Smart Chain, which actually it's technically called something else now, but still labeled as BSC. I heard that today, and I had never heard that before.
I'll check it out.
There's Bitcoin, there's Base, there's Tron, there's Plasma, Arbitrum, Hyperliquid, Provenance.
Yeah, that's a new one to me. I saw that on CoinGecko the other day, and I was like, what?
Interesting. Polygon, Avalanche, Mantle, Sui, Katana.
And it should be noted that we're like way out of the billions now. We're not in the billions anymore.
But I just do this to be a dick and prove a point. If I come all the way over here to others and drop down and scroll, I have to hit see more and see more again. There's Cardano.
Way over there.
Underneath movement, widely regarded as being dead. Underneath Stellar, which doesn't publish any of its TVL publicly.
Don't hit those movement guys in public, because the jackets they were wearing at that conference said, "We're here."
Yeah, that's where the budget went, was the jackets.
all $37 a chain revenue went to the jacket budget.
Gnosis, Linnea, Mega ETH. Yeah, I mean, so you get the point. The point is, though, that you can go over there to look at revenue. And one more thing you can do is over here on the side, hit metrics. And then you can sort by all of these different categories. And one of the categories that you can search for is fees and revenue. And there's a lot of different ways that you can sort by fees and revenue, that you can kind of look at hierarchies of all of these different ecosystems ranked. And then shout out, because while we're here, I might as well show you. You can look up yield on anything you want right here, and it will show you where you can go to earn APY, to earn yield on an asset across a total tracked number of protocols over 19,000 different places. So that's fun. Anyway, that's the llama.
I just have to tell you, I could not find anything about Binance Smart Chain doing any kind of a legitimate rebrand, but in my search for it, do you know what I did
can't wait to find out what you did find.
I found a Twitter account called @BNB Soul Fork, and it's called Binance Super Smart Chain.
Nice. Built on Solana.
Sure, yeah, it's got 952 followers. Just finished final touches, going live soon with 952 followers. Joined October 2025. I bet you $5 it's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
Binance Super Smart Chain. I don't know why I didn't think of that. It's a runner.
It's a runner. Anyway, there you go. So yeah, I really just say that to, crypto trades in a totally different reality than any typical investment vehicle would, where things like metrics matter, because we still don't value these things based on how much revenue they make. I mean, if you look at the top 10 cryptos by market cap, here,
Oh,
we've got.
I got it.
We've got top down Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP, USDC, Solana, Tron, Dogecoin, and Cardano. So, okay. Couple things. Actually, I would extend and add a couple of other ones, because Tether, USDC, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Doge is still in the top 10 despite doing absolutely nothing except bringing people joy.
I wonder how soon it's going to be that we break out the top 10 into like stable coins and other tokens, because I think
honestly we're overdue.
Just going to shoot right up.
We're overdue for sure. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, Bitcoin is Bitcoin, that tracks. Ethereum and BNB, how much revenue does BNB make? I would assume that's got to be decent.
It was a significant amount. Do you have the llama in another tab still? Because if you're going to look up BNB, look up Polygon real quick, because they as a chain have actually done really well. They've outpaced the other layer twos in fee generation, and even have some, is it weeks or months, where they've outpaced Ethereum. Are you yikes in BNB?
Yeah.
Tell me
Ooh.
why.
Oh. BNB. So the Binance Smart Chain did $30,000 in the last 24 hours.
Whoa. That's rough, dude.
As a reminder, Solana did 860,000, and I would call that down.
I would call that down too.
Oh man, that's bad. Okay, so okay, again, so by revenue, BNB doesn't deserve to be up there, which is wild. That can't be right. That's got to what?
I wonder
I
if
gotta
it
look at
is.
that more.
I would need to look at it more too because.
Well, that's probably right. Like the chain itself, but BNB up there just because of Binance's colossalness. Do they have some sort of like token incentive from the exchange, like a revenue share thing? I have no idea. I'd have to look. Anyway, doesn't deserve to be there. XRP, hate to say it, don't come for me. Doesn't deserve to be there. Makes no money. USDC, yes, should be in a different category. Solana, honestly, in this ranking, should be right underneath Bitcoin if we're talking about revenue. Tron, what's Tron's revenue? Tron is also up there with TVL.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Any guesses?
Jesus good, Jesus bad.
The highest. Oh, I'm sorry. Ethereum's chain revenue is higher than Solana's.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. That's chain rev. That's a confusing thing. That's a real economic value, chain fees plus MEV tips. On Ethereum. So sorry.
That's interesting.
Let me re-rack because now I'm looking at the wrong numbers.
Dang.
Okay, Ethereum chain revenue 90,216. Solana chain revenue, less. Yeah, 62,723. Chain rev real economic value 854,000 to Ethereum's 1.05 million. Binance Smart Chain revenue 30,000. Chain real economic value 312,000. Tron chain revenue 1.13 million.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
That's
Tron
wild.
is the most popular network for people to use the world's most popular stablecoin, Tether,
true.
to send payments, period. And the fees are actually, even though it's like, quote, fast, quote, cheap, it's more of an infrastructure and distribution thing. It is not the fastest, it is not the cheapest, though it is fast and comparatively to Western Union, very cheap. It is a fee. It makes big fees, man. And it's the most, it's the number one most common cryptocurrency. If somebody somewhere in the world is sending cryptocurrency, it's probably Tether and probably on the Tron network. Fun fact.
Wild. Anyway, they deserve to be up there. Funny enough. Dogecoin, whatever. Cardano, absolutely not.
Oh, no.
Above, like Cardano being above Hyperliquid is just diabolical.
Yeah, that's why. That's absolutely wild. I
This
saw
piece of shit being in the top 20, diabolical.
Let me see if I can find this hype chart. I saw a really good.
I mean, none of these make any money. Pax, up there. Chronos, what are they doing in revenue? There they are. Ooh, yikes. Chain fees on Chronos today, $614.
Let me see.
Big yikes.
I'm sorry, Alex. I'm digging for a tweet over here because there's
No, you're
a
good.
really
Now
good
I'm just
graphic. Now you've fallen down. You were in a rabbit hole, and
Polygon.
now you're in a llama hole.
Polygon, I forgot.
Yes, Polygon. What's their revenue? And what was the metric that they were? They were outpacing all the. I feel like Joe Biden up here. What was the metric that? You know what I mean?
What was it again?
Did you see that funny edit somebody did of him on Sora where he was like Dragon Ball Z, dressed up as Dragon Ball Z characters, talking to Mean Gene Okerlund, like the wrestling interviewer? Oh God, it was so funny. He's like, I'm gonna go Super Sam, what and like this. It was great. It was really good. All my old school wrestling fans. No hate to Joe.
Chain revenue on Polygon. Okay, here you go. So chain revenue on Polygon, 136,227, which is higher than Ethereum by over $45,000 and more than double Solana's. So if we were to ask the Llama AI to rank let's say the top 25 by chain revenue. I'll let it think there for a second. Anyway, I'll let that cook for a minute because it takes a minute to build the table.
Let it cook and stall for me just for another moment. Orthodoxy says, just a bunch of bag holders for Cardano.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you know, one actually I want to address this on the way to look. One that I need to educate myself about, Alex, is Metallicus. I understand it's a DEX. It's built on the XRP ledger. And a lot of people talk about how it's going to play a role in the expansion of XRP's, like the real world assets narrative. And also maybe like give velocity to liquidity on the XRP ledger. I haven't myself seen anything substantial come out of it. And I know DeFi Llama underreports the XRP ledger, like we talked about.
Well, okay, but it's important to say why.
Please. Yeah.
DeFi Llama underreports the XRP ledger because the information about the XRP ledger is not verifiable. We have to take Ripple's word for it. They refuse to do that. It's also why Stellar's is low. It's why Hedera's is low, because these are private and permissioned and not decentralized, and this information is not publicly queryable. So they only report what they can publicly verify themselves through APIs that they can access. If it's private, they can't see it. They won't report on it because they can't confirm that it's true.
That's right. So you're not going to see DeFi Llama with numbers from Canton, from any of the like close HBAR probably is underreported there. And I need to learn more about Metallicus. Do you off the top of your head know much about Metallicus, like in a deep way?
It's not a DEX, it's a blockchain. So Metallicus is like this thing that sits behind the metal blockchain, related to what's that other?
Plasma?
XPR. Proton. They like named it the ticker specifically to confuse people with XRP. So that tells you that's their branding plan. I don't know. It's branded as a layer 0. It's allegedly it's another product that every bank is about to use or something. It's not that interesting to me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let me show you this thing about Hyperliquid. I saw this graphic the other day in a reply to a post I was commenting on. It says, the easiest way I've shilled hype to normies, the N-word, is showing them this AI slop comparison image I made. And it's comparing Robinhood to Hyperliquid. And I'm just going to read it for the podcast, folks. Robinhood has 2,900 employees. Hyperliquid has 11 core contributors. Robinhood has $4.5 billion. I don't know what this is, if it's saying like deposits or something. Oh no, that's what they generate in revenue. Hyperliquid is generating $750 to $1.2 billion. That's $102 million per contributor per employee versus the $1.5 million that Robinhood employees generate. So just based on that comparison alone, it gives you an idea that like this is happening. The Hyperliquid is experiencing.
You forgot the wildest. Look at that trading volume difference: 22.9 billion compared to 2.95 trillion.
Yeah. Good job.
It's not even funny. Hyperliquid recently passed Tether as being the most revenue generated per employee at a protocol or company, and Tether's is insane. To be clear, it's like 90.6 million per employee. Yeah,
the most liquid velocity instrument that we have ever invented for money is Tether, and maybe Tether unlocked through Hyperliquid or other tokens unlocked through Hyperliquid's dashboard.
This begets an interesting question about evaluating cryptocurrencies, because by these metrics and by these numbers, Hyperliquid should be number 2 behind Bitcoin, with a bullet, because it's not even close. Like hundreds of millions of dollars more on Hyperliquid than all of Solana put together, and we don't value them the same way, but like, you know, it kind of begs the question, why? So I don't know. I don't really have anything super insightful to say about like how to navigate that, because honestly, the moral of the story is that crypto is just sort of there, and it's just sort of like used to speculate, and whoever's winning the speculation competition is going to be in charge. And whoever, like, why is XRP where it is? Because they've cultivated a very prominent brand in the space, and a tremendous number of people hold it, hoping. You know, it has nothing to do with a fundamental. It's speculation, and all of them are like that. This is not unique to XRP. They're just one of the best at it. They all do it. It's wild. I mean, you know, we talk about these things that have cracked the code on like staying in business forever, right? Like Definity, ICP. ICP launched at an insane valuation. They will never recapture it. There's nothing happening there. They don't make any money except what's made through trading the token. And the lab is happy to just go do the stuff, whatever the hell they're researching and writing papers about.
I talked to Jay. He's a co-founder of Say today about getting them on the show just to answer questions for people. And he said in our meeting, he said, yeah, you know, we're not really worried about money, because they sold a token at one time that captured enough revenue for them to earn interest on forever, no matter what price it goes to. Their small startup team will be able to do stuff in pursuit of product market fit for a long time. So really for them, it's just a matter of staying relevant and finding that product market fit.
Yep.
We'll have them on the show soon. In the comments, there are lots of other questions. What about this? What about that? What about Pith? I see To Think Out Loud says, you know, interesting story at the Dave and Buster's. I heard a Chainlink employee talking about Pith, and he was saying they don't see it as a very serious competition. I think a lot of people on our side of the table who are just buying and selling crypto tokens, hoping to make money, tend to think about Pith and Chainlink as like direct competitors, because they both provide a similar solution at the core, an Oracle, which is just a piece of software that makes it possible to see information about the physical world in the digital world and vice versa, on chain, off chain, that kind of stuff. And Chainlink is so far out ahead and so well developed as a piece of infrastructure that anybody who wants to come on chain wants to use their Oracle services. And as you might imagine, they have a limited capacity. And if you, Bobby B down the street, are one of 10,000 projects coming on chain today and you want an Oracle, Chainlink is probably going to say to you, I really appreciate this. Yeah, here are some services you could use. See you later. But if Fidelity calls them and says, we're going to need some Oracle assistance, they say, that's great. For just $1 billion, we will give you some personal attention. And they do. So Pith is mostly competing for scraps. They have, according to this employee, a lot of stale Oracles, which means, I assume, price feeds or information feeds that don't have, you know, they got static in the lines. They don't work smooth and well. And it gave me the impression that the people who use Pith are the people who can't afford to use, or that Chainlink won't allow to use their protocol. And they said a competitor they're more interested in is one called Redstone, getting some of the smaller customers. But Chainlink's in a category of one.
I mean, you remember API 3? That's another little, you know, kind of antiquated Oracle service that I haven't heard anything about in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like, even if another Oracle launched today, people would call it like the Chainlink killer, but that's you got to be doing big numbers, big partnerships in business for a long time before you're even allowed to be in that conversation. So don't necessarily think that means you got to go out and buy Chainlink today. It's found some product market fit. It may not be as volatile as other tokens.
It's like calling Barachain the Solana killer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just silly.
You know, the secret I hope you're getting from this, To Think Out Loud, and anybody listening, is that if Alex and I and the guy who works at Chainlink and everybody on the inside playing baseball with him at Dave and Buster's is not selling their house to go out and buy Pith, to buy Metallicus, you probably don't need to either. And if you're trying to learn about cryptocurrency on the internet, chances are you've been led to believe you need to go faster and farther than you actually do, especially if your goal is to make money in this space. So slow down, come back with more questions. Alex, I know we got to start winding ourselves down. Do you have some final questions you want to roll through, or do you want to do like Tori and say bye-bye for now and count some points?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think these are really good questions, because
super good.
like I keep saying, if you are an investor or a potential investor, you really, really, really need to be doing yourself the favor of doing exactly what To Think is talking about over here, which is just like asking questions that matter about the things that you're potentially interested in investing in. Because as I always say, if you're buying crypto, you should be trying to find a reason not to, and then, you know, enjoy it when you find a good reason to, because there are more cons than there are pros here. And again, with an investment, the ultimate goal, this might seem silly, but I feel like I have to remind people when we're talking about crypto, the ultimate goal here is to make money, right? The ultimate goal is to invest in a thing that's going to be worth more in the future. That's quite literally the whole point. So it's crazy to me when people don't invest in things and then spend no time trying to like learn more about it, or trying to find holes in the investment thesis, or like something that they could have been mistaken about or missed. And that's unique to crypto. No one is like still holding Sears stock because they swear to God it's going to come back and be big one day, and it's going to be the Costco killer because some sheik is like really interested in it, and they're going to launch this new line of toddler onesies with like a really big mom influencer, like things that just don't matter to it, you know. But that's what we do in crypto. We're like, oh no, if like, you know, sorry, I'm going to do it again. I just heard our you know, friend of the show, Blockchain Bully, was over there. He's hosting a talk with a guy. I was on his show earlier today. It was a fun conversation. Talked about legislation and policy.
Okay.
He had a guy on that I don't know, Crypto Vice. It was a XRP thing, and he's a $10,000 XRP guy.
Interesting.
And when asked to justify that price, the first thing he says, if it captures X% of all of the transaction volume around the world of whatever. So we're starting off with a big if. It would literally be like saying, I'm going to put my life savings into Sears stock because if they manage to build a membership program and take all Costco's employees and members, they're going to be huge. Like, yeah, objectively that's true, but it's also nonsense. Like no one would ever say that in the context of Sears. So why do we allow ourselves to say it in the context of cryptocurrencies? You know, why are we still Cardano maxis when no one's trying to build anything there, when no one is trying to port anything there, when no one's trying to do anything there, when there are no DeFi protocols, or there's no ecosystem there doing stuff, when there's no users, when the founders moved on to do another thing, and all of the attention and marketing spend is going towards Midnight for a totally different narrative. Like, why would we still be there saying that, like, oh, it's going to be huge one day, and justifying a $10 billion valuation? Like, it just makes no sense, and it's uniquely crypto, and it drives me insane. And I feel like I'm going crazy every time I like go back through that, to be very honest.
I understand, man. Crypto Vice is here in the audience tonight. What do you know about that? It's not an if, he says. See what the institutions are choosing in Crypto Vice. I just want to say, you might want to rewind this stream on YouTube, because we have been answering this question in detail tonight, right, Alex? RWAXYZ, the Solana breaking news about Fidelity, and many others, Western Union, and many others, many times. You know
what I actually really like to do that we should do, because we haven't.
Please.
So I see, J-Man, I see your comment. You're totally missing it. Okay. I genuinely want to know, because I am one of those people who would take my own advice and say, if my investment thesis is wrong, I want to know why. And it's not going to be the easiest thing. You have to convince me, but like, I'm open to changing my mind if I'm presented with compelling new information. So like, what am I missing? Because if the conversation is, if they capture, I think your number, Vice, sorry, I would have addressed you if I saw that you were there. I think you said 14% of Swift's volume, which I think you said was 6 trillion. Please correct me if I'm wrong. What I really want to know, and Swift is not a publicly traded company, excuse me, so you can't like get a real valuation for it. But like, I've seen estimates around like the $50 billion mark whenever I've tried to like look and see like, what do people, you know, colloquially value Swift as an enterprise at. And so again, my question is, if that's the target for comparison and takeover, and we're trying to rob 14% of its volume, why would the competitor suddenly be worth orders of magnitude in the tens of thousands of percent higher than the thing that they are now doing 14 compared to 86% of the volume of. That math does not even begin to math for me. It doesn't make any sense. And please don't, sorry, J-Man, please don't tell me to go research like random shit. I see it, I respect you, but like answer the question. Don't like tell me to just go do my research. That's a cop-out when someone doesn't know what they would like to tell me, when they just want to be right, or when they're mad that someone doesn't agree with them. I could be wrong. I'm not here to pontificate and say that like I'm absolutely right, but you can't just say, go read about this one acronym. Okay, sure. I'll go Google the acronym you just said, and I promise you I'm not going to suddenly read a headline that changes my mind about everything I just said.
Most of these, the BIS, the IMF, is the International Monetary Fund stuff, the WEF stuff, it mostly has to do with references to the token in research, references to people piloting programs on chain.
Yeah, because those exist. Tons of
they do exist.
Banks and financial institutions around the world have run a pilot program using RippleNet before, which notably doesn't use XRP, and then they never really took it out of pilot.
That's right. And we did a whole segment earlier on the difference between these. What was it, Alex? I've already forgotten the nomenclature because our night was big on RWA. It's
3.46%.
Represented assets versus what is the nomenclature they use there?
Represented versus all versus distributed.
Versus distributed. That's right. We had a really good segment where we talked about the difference between putting a token on a blockchain and being able to use that token in revenue generating or value creating activities. And it's not a hypothetical if this, then that. But in fact, this case is already being made in a substantial way, even by institutions who have previously chosen to pilot a program on XRP to do something they launched somewhere else.
Well, and like, again, I know that it's easy to like hear something negative about XRP and immediately put like me and Evan right now into a category of people who want to see it fail. I truly don't.
No, not at all.
I feel the same. Honestly, I feel the same way about XRP as I do about Solana, and as I do about Ethereum, and as I do about Cardano, and as I do about Hyperliquid. I really want to see like a sense of normalcy find its way to crypto valuations, expectations, and projections. So I would still call Solana overvalued on paper, even though right now it's trading at like around $90 a token, and it was $292 when it hit its all-time high last January. I would still call now at 90 overvalued because the revenue is not there. It's still 100 and what did I say, 130 or 160, something like that, times annual revenue at its valuation. But you know what? Just because we keep doing this and we keep talking in circles, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. So why don't we do Evan, why don't we plan, like outside of the schedule of the broadcast, a panel wherein I'll accept invitations or requests to come up, and then you guys can teach me what it is that I'm missing. And I'm going to have a lot of questions and a couple things that won't work. I see your comment, J-Man. Yes, cop out. Don't tell me to Google the IMF if you're trying to, like, because I did. And it tells me that stands for the International Monetary Fund. It's a Washington-based international organization of 191 countries. Okay, great. Thanks. I Googled the IMF. Appreciate the tip. And I'm not trying to be pithy. I'm just like so sick of that. And that's what I always get. So I'll bring the questions. You bring the answers that are real. And then you can tell me why I'm wrong. And then I'll learn something. And if I'm convinced, then great. Cool. I have another thing I can add to my my list of investments that like I feel strongly convicted about, and that'll be good for me. So I would appreciate it. But yeah, no cop outs.
Okay, you heard the challenge, and I want to be right there too. We've got the red screen on, and that means it's time for you to tell me before Alex pivots to rwa.xyz how you'd rank it on the Salto meter. That Alex rant, was it a 0? Was it a 5? Was it a 10? He didn't even notice, so that already tells you. I'm feeling, Bearded missed it. Jeff said in the comments, but Magic Jeff Rascal backed me up. I'm feeling like because he didn't even notice it, that it quickly escalated to about like a 7 or an 8 on the Salto meter for me. So yeah, challenge is the gauntlet is thrown. We'll do the stream. I want to do that too.
Yeah.
Blockchain Bully, you said he said forever ago he wanted to do a stream like that where we get to talk about it.
And
let's do it.
It was good. We sat there. It was a fun talk. He was kind enough to invite me up and derail the program that he was running to host me for a little bit. Asked good, interesting questions, and then we talked about it. And it was a lot of fun. I would do it again in a heartbeat. But yeah, this like I would just ask that if you're going to take my time, Evan's time, and the audience's time to come participate in this, and I hope that you do. Please bring material. Like, please bring something. And I'm not one of those people who says like you can't come to a talk or a presentation or something like without notes. So bring some notes.
Yeah. Bring all your notes.
Like run your favorite LLM in the background and be prepared to run fact checks and then cross compare and double check for hallucinations and all that sort of stuff. But like I'm telling you right now, I will not entertain it or waste the time to host someone telling me to Google the IMF and then to tell me that I'm still missing the big picture and to look at their relationships. Because if I were to run down a list of relationships held by the IMF, which has representatives from almost 200 countries in it, we're going to be here all day and we're not going to get anywhere. So I need you to be specific, because like I can be really specific about why I'm more convicted in Sol as an investment asset than XRP or ETH or whatever. We can get really specific, really granular, and we can fit all that information on a postcard because it's not that deep. So if you have to spin me a web and lead me through the Da Vinci Code to get me through an eventuality where in 400 years from now, 7 million things will have come together and all the planets will have aligned, including the 14 we haven't discovered yet, to lead me to this world wherein it now hits $10,000, I'm going to not be convinced.
I will absolutely die on this hill.
And another one. The red screen stays on.
And another one.
And Raging Cajun says effortlessly salty is the way.
I mean, look, the ocean is 400 yards that way. My house is salty. My yard is salty. Every time I go outside, it's salty. I'm in the salt. All right.
Yeah.
In answer to the question, did the Llama AI ever rank the things? It did. Thank you for the reminder.
Oh man,
it did a great job.
Okay, so then we got two things. You wanted to show us something on RWA. Oh no, he said peace.
No.
Goodbye. He's over it. Okay, that's for the challenge. What are we looking at here? Did they rank it?
Yep. Top 25
look at that.
ecosystems by chain revenue.
I love this. This is a great time for our friends to be in this conversation. This would be a good talking point in that debate.
Yeah, it's really good because this is the kind of thing. Here's a preview. This is the kind of thing I'm going to bring up and ask you about. There's Tron, number one with a bullet. Oh my God, it's not even close. I should have asked it to. I would rerun this and ask it to put market cap of the underlying crypto next to it, but I didn't.
That would have been good too. That would have been good too.
Next time. So from the top down for the people in podcast land, and I'm not going to read all the numbers because it's just going to be confusing, but here's the list in order from the most daily revenue by the protocol to the least. Top 25: Tron, Base, Polygon, Ethereum, Solana, Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, Hyperliquid, Injective, Avalanche, Filecoin, Ronin, Abstract. I would like to just take a brief pause to say that Tron in number one is at 1.13 million per day. And now here we are at number 13 with Abstract, and it's 4.7 thousand.
And honestly, if you added those up, like numbers 2 through, I would say 2 through probably the rest of the list could fit inside Tron. More than once over.
With some left over, yes.
Yeah. At least twice. Like it's Jupiter compared to the rest of the planets here we're talking about.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's not even close. And the same thing could be said, I mean, some of these, we're getting down here to the top. I mean, Inc. is number 25 with $500. Unichain with 552. Stellar 733 from the bottom up now. So like, once we leave the top 5, it's a precipitous drop in total.
And I just want to clarify for To Think, who says, I have a little Tron. This is perfect. This is not necessarily a correlation to or way to predict the price in the future. I would say if you're looking at this as an investor, it's not like looking at a stock exactly. The crypto token is the closest thing Tron has to a stock. But I think it's a better indicator of like, what should the floor value of this business be? If your favorite blockchain is only doing like silly little JPEGs of like monkeys and stuff, or they have like an influencer selling coffees on chain or something like that, then their floor is 0. Tron's floor is at least, you know what, it's doing $1 million a day, spread that out over 365 days, and then multiply it by 3 to have a conservative estimate. You're talking $1 billion.
And remember too that we are now looking at this in a down market, so all these numbers are low.
Yeah, so that's more like saying, no, as a company, its floor of like the value it creates, the value it provides, you know, and then a way to look at its market cap, and really the number one mover of a crypto token is price. Hype about price. So don't see this as like, now I'm going to buy Tron because Tron is the best investment. That's not what we're saying at all.
Yeah, and actually, if you want to talk about like things to
I don't have any
speculate
Tron.
on,
Yeah.
Here's an interesting. So I did just run it to add the native token or underlying cryptocurrency market cap into consideration here. One Traveler, thank you for the question. XRP is nowhere to be found.
Not even close, dude.
Tron in first place, $27.2 billion in market cap. Ethereum in fourth place with $256 billion.
10 times
Solana
more
with
almost.
51. BSC with 89. Here's an interesting one. So the in spots 6 and I'm gonna say it 7. If Jordan was still in here, that would have hit.
I went right over my head. I'm too old.
So the Binance Smart Chain does $36,690 in daily revenue with a market cap of $89.3 billion.
Yeah.
Arbitrum does 21,000. So not a little bit more than half. Was that like probably 58% of Binance's of the Binance Smart Chain's daily revenue, but its market cap is only 614 million. So about 180 times smaller than the Binance Smart Chain. I'm sorry, that math was so wrong. It's not even
but
funny.
we get your point, is that Binance is a much larger like hole to fill with that amount of money. It goes farther in Arbitrum.
And actually, the TVL on Arbitrum is 2.12 billion compared to Binance Smart Chain's 5.9 billion. So again, compared to everything else, like revenue plus TVL plus market cap, it's like comparatively severely undervalued. Right underneath it. Now this is unfair because this is not the correct. Like Hyperliquid is like
That's the
kind
chain.
of a weird one.
I think it's giving you the chain daily revenue.
It is. No, it absolutely is.
Hyperliquid, the protocol, is making a lot more.
Yeah, that makes all the money.
A lot more.
But you know what's funny is that Hyperliquid, the chain, which makes unbelievably less revenue than the protocol does, is still up here in spot number 8.
Still up there in number 8. It's wild.
Still up there. You know what's so funny? I just realized what did it say that they made in revenue? Like a billion a year?
Yeah, 1.2, I think.
Look at that number.
7.5.
7.5. That's literally right. That is appropriately valued.
I would say that might be the most healthy and appropriate valuation of a crypto company. And boy, is it growing fast.
It is.
I was really sad. I wasn't in a position to spend more money on stuff in the dip just to speculate, and Hyperliquid would have been one of those. I still might buy some Hyperliquid.
Let's do that math, Evan, because in the world of like, as Perplexity said, really spicy emerging SaaS companies. And in that sense, it was talking about like pre-revenue or pre-product or like, launch revenue. So like really minimal. Think about like Spatial when Samsung put $50 million in and there was no revenue target.
Yeah. I remember that conversation. I was like, wow, guys, that's killer.
So in that sense,
the
we're talking
number
about
is
like
1.2 billion.
Okay.
It varies, but approximately 1.2 billion.
Okay.
And while Alex calculates this, let me answer this question. How come Chainlink is not being discussed anymore? Any crypto token, it may or may not fade in or out of hype depending on how people on the internet are talking about it, depending on how people are paying them to talk about it. Chainlink has achieved product market fit with a significant audience. They really don't need to pay anybody to talk about them. is what I would say. And I would be willing to bet, each of these has like a network, right? These fees that Alex is calculating are like the fees that accrue to the network, which is to say the amount of money that people who are doing the work of running the machines, like a utility provider, like how much does your government make on taxes is like what this is. Only it's not a tax set by politicians you elected. It's more like how much are the people providing electricity to do this service getting it like as revenue and compensation for it. That's very different than, do they have a side company, a nonprofit that manages the token? Do they have a labs company that builds out the products that they sell to institutional partners or that they integrate in their stuff? That's the kind of revenue that Chainlink, I think they have a labs, is making. That's the kind of money that Ripple is making, because Ripple's making money, but it's not from the use of the XRP token.
And this is actually a great follow-up from Two Things says, per Prad G, Ripple is XRP. So maybe if Ripple Labs goes public, it will go public on blockchain. In theory, some mechanism by which that happens is possible, but there's currently no legal framework defined in the United States for that to happen, so it won't. We would need, I wouldn't say like major legislation, but we would need some policies to get passed and approved and put into practice before there's even a way for them to do that, even if they wanted to. And I don't think they would. They're very private. They like their things hush-hush. That's why none of their stuff is reported, and you can't find any of the numbers because they just want you to take their word for it. Okay, so Hyperliquid's market cap of the Hype token, if valued according to emerging SaaS bleeding edge tech valuations of a venture product, which I would say they qualify for, except in the fact that they have way more revenue than any of those things ever have had. We are talking about a $24 to $36 billion market cap at appropriately valued in that sense.
Yeah, buddy.
Which is 3 to 5 times higher than it is right now.
I know, man. I know. That's why I wanted to buy some. You know what I mean? I think that's a good move. I would buy, hey, I'm interested in buying Hyperliquid before I'm interested in buying Tron for that reason, because the market cap, the amount of money that is like in the pot of the crypto token that people are, trading these tokens for, that's the prize. It is under the amount it should be based on how much money they are making compared to their peers. This would be like if Apple was making the same kind of revenue figures, but their stock was trading in such a way that they were worth, a fifth of what Microsoft was worth. Wouldn't you buy that stock? Of course you would. Mm-hmm. It's about more than just how much revenue, more than just how many this, how many that, how many partnerships. It's a composite picture. And all these tools help you to research it. Go ahead, Alex. I keep like semi-rugging you.
No, you're good. I know we're over time here.
I know. We got to write it down, but this is it's so good. It's so good. The questions are good.
In response to my point about policy not existing to allow a company to go public on chain, thus using their underlying currency somehow, Two Think asked about the Clarity Act. I encourage you to read it and fact check me. There is nothing in there in that bill about this.
Fact check yourself, brother.
There's just not. It's a bill meant to do something else. With regards to Clarity, Mark Carmichael, powerful name, dude, says the only good thing that's going to have to do with Clarity is the act eliminating the BS projects because of legal actions they can be taken against those BS projects. I'd really like to know what you mean by that. Okay, so the follow-up is the meme coins will be eliminated, that money will flow back into real projects. Maybe, but not because of Clarity. Clarity doesn't do that. And I would ask you which part of the bill you think does that. Because again, that's also not the point of Clarity. And actually, the SEC has specifically gone out of its way to state that they're not going after meme coins, which is a diabolical position to take, but it is one that they took. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so to think the ticker is HYPE, HYPE.
Yeah, and the network is a proof of stake network. So HYPE, the token, it is the token that is used for gas on that network, the same way that Ether powers Ethereum. You pay Sol fees whenever you do a transaction on the Solana network. You pay a gas fee in HYPE tokens to use the Hyperliquid network. And The reason this is significant is because how are all these fees generated? Hyperliquid's primary thing, the thing to do in their ecosystem, if you imagine blockchains like cities, the Hyperliquid ecosystem, it's a city, and in the middle of that city is a towering skyscraper, the largest building. At this time, I think it would be on Earth. If buildings on chain, businesses on chain were buildings, it'd be the tallest building on Earth, the Hyperliquid protocol. It's a perp dex. What that means is that people go there to borrow money and place bets on what the price of an asset will be in the future. It is fast, it is efficient, and lots and lots and lots of money flows through there. That is what composes the structure of that building and makes it so tall, is that, on ETH, sometimes you might buy a little NFT, cha-ching. Mm-hmm. You might stake a token, cha-ching. On Hyperliquid, people are constantly, second by second by second, sending not just $1, but $1 from me to you, from you to somebody else, and then borrowing money from somebody else. The dollars are moving so quick. And there is a hype gas fee on every single one of those transactions. And so the volume of fees that they're able to generate is significant. There are also ways that you can vote if you're a holder on how the fees are used, how the protocol is upgraded and integrated and captured, meaning like how the value generated from these fees is distributed. It can be paid out to validators, the people whose computers secure the network. It can be given out to token holders. Alex? You had something?
Have we said yet that this isn't sponsored by Hyperliquid?
No, man, this show is not.
I would take that money for sure.
Bro.
I've never even spoken to them.
I spoke to a contributor there, and he was interested in getting to know us better. Hype, we would love to talk about you appropriately in a way that gets people, appreciative and excited. It's easy. I don't even hold the token yet,
I got to poke around and back this up, but based on this, it's the only appropriately valued cryptocurrency on the planet besides Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is, up to your imagination.
Yeah, and another thing about this particular token is, the emissions, they go to those people first. The same way that the only way to get Bitcoin is by mining Bitcoin or buying it from somebody who mined it. The Hyperliquid token emissions, they favor people who are validating the network, who are staking tokens, or who are participating in some kind of way. And over time, the allocation, the distribution decreases. So it becomes a little more scarce over time. It's popular because the tool is popular, but there's deep liquidity there. It's got a great on-chain order book, and it's the best place in the world to do perpetual futures trading. The other day when people were like, oh, I wish I could trade oil right now during this conflict, people were on Hyperliquid borrowing money to go long or short on oil. Mm-hmm. It's the future.
Yeah, it's wild. Love it or hate it. Like I said, they're appropriately valued, and it's hilarious that that's a huge flex. We can we can wind down. I just wanted to clarify. So Mark said, hard to say. I believe the law of holding people accountable for dumping on people with response to what would eliminate memes. And again, just for the record, that is the law. Those laws do exist. People have gone to prison for it, but it's barely enforced. There's almost no enforcement effort. One of the things that this current administration in the United States did was completely gut all enforcement bodies from any enforcement officials, agents, officers of any kind who were responsible for chasing those kinds of crimes and criminals down. They are all gone. All those budgets are completely slashed. They basically just sent them all to ICE. And then they immediately started World Liberty Financial after firing everyone. So just for the record, those laws do exist. They are on the books. It is illegal. People have gone to prison. Going back all the way to 2020, 2021 for NFT project rugs, for meme coin rugs, for all that kind of stuff. The problem is that it takes a lot of resources and time and effort to track and trace that stuff and to hold people accountable. And no resources or manpower in the United States is being spent to do that. So it's not happening.
Okay, we really are about to ride our dogs and ponies, cats and cows.
We really, truly are. We might as well just stay until the morning show.
Until the morning show. We're camping out overnight. Bring your cats, bring your cows. I will answer this question before I kick it to you for some points and a final thought, which is to say to Mark Carmichael, hey, if you're not understanding where Alex is getting these numbers from, check out the community. It's community.rumshq.com. That's the best place to get a replay of this show where you can see the screen share on YouTube, or ask somebody who watched it like, hey, what was that website where Alex did this research? DeFiLlama.com. Oh, okay. RWA.xyz. Mark had a question about Coinbase. He said, well, Alex, when I look on Coinbase, I see different coins on top. Yeah.
Yep.
You might see, for example, Pigeon Coin or Lizard Coin. It's because the short answer, Coinbase only reports on activity within their platform. We're looking at activity across the crypto world, and we know the difference and want to help you know the difference so that you can make a more informed decision, because it's like riding your bike. As you remember how to do it, you'll never forget again. That sounded like a Joe Biden thing too. As you remember how to do it, you'll never forget again. But we only know this stuff not because we're super smart and know things you don't know, but because we've been here a minute. We've been spending the better part of the last, almost 10 years for us now, and a lot of it together, researching this stuff, falling in holes, hurting ourselves, losing money.
I got to get the date. I got to get the date so we can do my 10 year in crypto birthday coming up next month.
Wow.
You're a loser.
Dude, for real. The most appropriately timed "you're a loser" you've ever done.
Thank you. Okay. Are you ready for me to give some points and then I'll give you a final thought?
No, I'm going to rug you first.
No. Okay. Rug me.
Just because you said it with more words, just to cover all the bases, the hype token is governance. It is gas. And it's also a vehicle for revenue share through the buyback policy. They share a tremendous amount of platform revenue with holders through buybacks. So, fun fact.
Beautifully concise. Always in favor of a word less used. Okay, Alex. You caught me right in the middle of a mouthful. I thought I was safe to take a bite. My salad was almost done. And now here I am. I'm going to have to read points with food in my mouth. So, on the ASMR edition of Rise Up After Dark, here's how the points stand tonight. In last place, with 10 gwumps,
yep,
it's voting against revealing sexual misconduct. I request.
Christina's really been getting on me about saying diabolical too much, but like sometimes it's really appropriate. Sometimes I overuse it, but in this sense, Congress, that's truly diabolical. In 2026, amidst all of the, amidst everything, that's the vote you want to, that's the position you're going to take. Dude, literally send them all to zero. Anyone who voted on that thing and voted to contain it, zero. Like, you should be fired. That should be a fireable offense. That's not a hot take. You're embarrassing.
Okay, birthday dings and gwumps to give out tonight with 5 gwumps by request. Not sure how that works out, but I admire the conviction. Chatters, happy birthday. Also, Punky's
It's not his birthday. The gwumps were because it wasn't his birthday.
That's right. Gwumps because it's not your birthday. Point for Punky's hamster on Punky's hamster's birthday. A point for 5 points also for Cody's mom and Letters in Bloom on their birthdays. Thank you for spending your birthday with us. We've got 1 point on the board for Linda. 1 point for DeWoofy for suggesting the Rum's coloring book coming to an ordering form near you in the community soon. DeFi Llama has 1 point. We have got Hyperliquid with 1 point. We have got Drunk Epcot shipping services for 2 points. Kraken and its users for 2 points. Bob has 1 point. And Christina also has 5 points. It looks like I have 4 points. Alex had, I think, 1, 2, 3 gwumps and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for a total of 2 points. Oh my gosh. Actually, hang on a second.
Where'd all those gwumps come from?
You got a lot of gwumps, man. I'll give you another point though. Not a drum roll. So 4 points. You're tied with me. Will has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points and 1 gwump for 4 points. So I think actually that means that Christina, Letters in Bloom, and Cody's mom are the winners tonight. Happy birthday,
Evan!
Congratulations.
I can't keep losing every week to my wife.
This week she shared the victory with Cody's mom and Letters in Bloom. So it's really like you were more, in 4th place. You were tied with me. We were together.
4th place?
Hey, man.
Is this supposed to make me feel better or what?
Considering I wasn't even running that hard, I feel like we did pretty good, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but you turned the screen red.
I did
For
turn
me.
the screen red. I'm going to give him. Oh, who gets the point for that? Okay, fine. We'll get a point for next time. You even started with points in the bank.
Yeah, but I don't know where all those gwumps come from. I reject the gwumps.
I don't know, man. Chatter said, doesn't she get points for being married to you? She gets points for whatever she wants, pal. Thank you very much.
I'm like walking upstairs to start this, and she's like, I'll just get in there and get him early and get out. I got stuff
My
to
points.
do. It's just like, points, please.
She shows up like that, that landlord who knows that you got the money. You just got paid Friday, and they're like, where's it at?
Although,
Okay.
and I'll give Tori one more, even though I know she
yeah.
she retired for the evening. To be fair,
Oh, that's at least 6, I think, on the counter.
Christina has been sitting here supportively while Evan and I made absolutely negative money doing this for years. So I guess she deserves a lot of points for that or something.
Yeah, she definitely does. And if it makes you feel any better, if we were giving points for To Be Fairs, the winner tonight actually would have been To Be Fair.
Yeah,
To be fair.
You're goddamn right.
You're goddamn right, To Be Fair. Alex, do you have a final thought tonight before we say goodnight for the morrow? That's my final thought, actually. To rug your final thought is that's my favorite line in Shakespeare. That's probably my favorite line in Shakespeare is adieu, adieu, parting is such sweet sorrow that we should say goodnight until it be the morrow. And then when Romeo responds to Juliet, he says, sleep, dwell upon thine eyes, and peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. Basically saying, like, you have such a a beautiful shape. I wish I could go up there and fall asleep with you in your bed together with my head on your chest.
And then they died.
So sweet to rest. Yeah. Sorry about it. Sorry to spoil it. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Okay, we gotta go.
Your final thought. You got anything?
No, I shouldn't.
Okay. Come to
Sure,
the
I
show
could come up
tomorrow.
with something, but I shouldn't. I'll see you tomorrow.
Come to the show tomorrow. The 8 Ball says buy the dip, and if you've got something else, then leave it in the community.
I do have a final thought, and I'm going to rug the whole thing just to say that Matthew, looking at you, where's my report?
He did say after dark.
He did say after dark. Matthew's grounded. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, talking about the Rise Up morning show to close out a week of shows. And of course, where the show lives 24/7, community.rumshq.com. If you like learning with us, if you want to challenge us to an XRP or other token debate, that's the best place to do it. Until next time, my friends, everybody stay safe. Be well. Rise up.